goodness. This is one giant canvas, let me tell you that. I actually need a step stool just to get up on this thing. So, welcome everyone. Welcome. This is me at normal height compared to this canvas, and it's very big. So, we're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to take a long time, probably 2 to 3 hours. And we're going to do an awesome waterfall scene, giant, just cabins, fences, huge mountains, all sorts of stuff. And look, I'm going to need a step stool just to get up high enough to be able to paint this thing. So this is going to be a fun stream. Make sure you tap the screen, share the live. I've never had the cameras so far away just to be able to catch the entire canvas, right? So I might fall over. There's going to be a lot of fun during the stream. So I'm Paint with Josh. Welcome. As you can see, your girlfriend, she probably watches me on TikTok. It's probably true, right? This is my best flex ever. So we're going to talk about paint, pressure, and practice. It's Paint with Josh. It's a giant canvas, 40 inches by 30 inches across. And it's going to be just a whole lot of fun. So hopefully we don't break an ankle or sprain an ankle, fall off the step stool, spill everything everywhere. In any case, I'm already exhausted just from putting the clear on the canvas. So we took our Bob Ross liquid clear. I'm going to have to come way back here so you guys can see it. Way over here, look at that. Bob Ross liquid clear, and we covered our entire canvas in Bob Ross liquid clear. Now, make sure you're tapping the screen if you've ever seen someone do a live painting this big. You know, I don't know. I don't know where you would have seen it. Okay, now what I'm going to do is taking a little bit of our paper towel. Actually, probably more paper towel than usual because this canvas is a much bigger canvas, right? And we need to wipe off wherever we had that clear, and that way we don't have too much excess, right? If we have too much excess clear, that's going to cause a problem for us later on. And don't worry, you're never going to be able to wipe off all the clear that you put on, so don't worry about it, right? Wipe it. It's going to still remain wet. It's going to be wet for a while. All right, especially down here at the bottom, we need it to remain wet for a long time. Look at all the clear we took off of that thing. Just a giant amount, right? You don't need too much. You don't want to have too much. So, tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite sandwich, guys? And maybe at some point during when I need to take a break from this giant thing, I'll be able to come back and see where you guys are from. The camera's almost taller than me. That's how high I have to have it. All right, let's do this. Florida, checking in, everybody. Let's see. Where's everyone from? Bop, 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 bop. Love a good Reuben sandwich over on YouTube. That's excellent. From Georgia, Alabama, Ohio, Arkansas, Idaho. Man, West Virginia. Where are you guys coming at me from? Atlanta, Utah. That's my home state in Utah. Los Angeles. Let's see. Canada, England, the UK. The UK. Okay, we've taken our brush, we've cleaned it, we've beat the devil out of it, and now I need to put on stuff onto the white on the top. I don't even know if you guys can you guys see me over here? Can you guys see me from way down here? So we put our Bob Ross liquid clear on the bottom. Now I have to come back here and show you the Bob Ross liquid white. Right, looks just like this. Now we need to put that stuff on the top. Now we don't need a whole lot, even though it's a big area, because we can stretch it. You gotta stretch it to the limit. Stretch it to the limit. Right, we're going to take a different brush, clean, dry 2-inch brush, and come over here, just dab it into the top. I shook up the can, and whatever ends up in the lid is probably, especially for a smaller canvas, going to be more than what we need. Right, and I'm going to drop a little bit in over everywhere, and then we're going to stretch it down until it starts to meet this little clear area where we have our black, right? And again, you don't want it to be too big or too thick, and we'll probably need more paint because this is a giant... Just a gigantic canvas. So this is a commission painting for a man named Jason, lives out in New York. And he saw me painting on TikTok. He saw me do a version of this painting, a little bit smaller, and then a little bit bigger. And this painting just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right? And so I did a version of this painting, and he hit me up and said, he's like, man, I'd really love to do like a giant size canvas. How much would that cost? I told him what the cost would be. And he said, all right, let's rock and roll. So we're rocking and rolling, right? Now this one is probably going to cost me probably $300 to ship to New York from Las Vegas. So you can just base off of what it's going to cost me to ship to what I charged him, right? I don't like to talk about prices. He can tell you, he's probably watching in the comments, and he can tell you if he wants to. But otherwise, we'll just mention that it's going to be a big cost for a big canvas like this, right? Let's see, stretching it, getting that white a little bit into everywhere. Now watch this. The more you pull that white in there, the more you can have little sun streaks and different things lighten up into our little bit of rock, right? We don't want to have it be super bright though, so we're trying to keep it nice and dark. A little bit of that light color into our trees, and then the more we mix, the more we'll have this little bit of haziness back there, right? You don't want to have too much. So make sure we got our entire white part of our canvas covered, the exact same amount. Almost forget I got to hang on to this painting, otherwise it'll shake. It's so dang big. So, I'm going to do aerobics just to see, you know what I mean, just based on the light, where we have our light color, where it's dry, where it needs to be wet still, because you got to have it uniformly wet across the entire canvas. And once it's all uniformly wet and slick, then we're ready to rock and roll. It's my favorite sound. That's what the sound of the brush makes on the canvas. Just so funny, like I'm just realizing now that's Bob's sound. How he goes, but it's not really Bob's sound. It's the brush's sound that it makes on the canvas. My favorite sound. Besides the cha-ching noise when we get a sale in the store. That's my favorite sound. All right, so we got a little bit of liquid white. We got our liquid clear. I know it's taken a while. I wanted to prep this beforehand, but we're doing a tutorial for it on YouTube. And when we do that, we like to show how we set everything up. And that way there's no questions. I write everything in the description, all the colors that you need, all the stuff. So you'll be able to go back and rewatch the stream over on YouTube. Turn it on your big screen TV. It's going to be fantastic. All right, Jason, let's rock and roll with this painting. We got our stuff. We got our highlight paint. This is painting number 713. Ooh, 13. 713. Is it going to turn out good? We're going to have good luck with it? Or are we going to have bad luck with it? What's going to happen? All right. You never can tell. Let's just come back here and we'll see one more time where we got people watching from. And we're about to start, everybody. Make sure if you're watching on YouTube, you give me a thumbs up over there. The more thumbs ups we have, the more people are going to see the video. And obviously, the more taps and comments that we get over here on TikTok, the more people are going to see the video too. Gotta move my step stool. Jeez. All right. All I'm doing is just kind of blending out these little bit of streaks, so we have that little haziness over our forest. All right. Don't want to get too much white paint anywhere, especially down here into our darkness. That's not what we want. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is lean all the way over here. Get some of my, well, let's go through the colors that we have. I haven't even gone through the colors. My God, I might fall. I might fall and I might look pudgy, guys. Who knows? We'll see. So we've got our bright red, Van Dyke brown, dark sienna, yellow ochre, cadmium yellow, phthalo green, Prussian blue, alizarin crimson, midnight black, titanium white, sap green down here. And then as we get further down the canvas, I'll pull out some more colors, right? Now, before this red drips all over my skin, tell me one more time, where are you watching from? What's your favorite sandwich? And what do you plan on doing for the next 2 to 3 hours while I paint this painting? That's going to be the question. Pop, 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 pop. Okay. Throw that away. We don't need to hold this because we're going to have to hold the canvas. We're getting our aerobics in today, ladies. We're getting it in, ladies and gents. Okay, now, Jason said he wanted a blue sky. So we're going to take a Prussian blue. We're going to come up in here, and I want to leave a few little bits of white clouds, different little areas. So we're not going to put the same amount of blue everywhere, right? We're going to cover the edges of the canvas just because it always looks nicer. I don't know if the buyer is going to frame it, if they're going to just take it straight out of the box and hang it right up on the wall. So you never know. So I always try to finish the edges, at least with a little bit of color. At least once you have a little bit of color around the edges, then you know you can take it straight out of the box and hang it up if you wanted to, right? And we need to get a little bit more because we got a big old canvas and a big old space to fill. Dabbing it onto our brush, getting it nice and filled with color. Look at that color. Excellent. All right, come in from the top always. Then you drop the deeper color up top, and as it blends in with that liquid white, you can see it's on my glove there. The whole canvas is wet with white and clear paint, and so as we blend down, it'll become a lighter color. Very cool. Very, very cool. I might have to step up on the next step. I'll hit my head on the ceiling up here just to do this one. There we go, that's better. I like this angle better. All right, we're gonna blend it down, leaving this white area for some clouds. So maybe taking some of my blue in here, and it's okay, you can bring some of your blue over your bit of mountain, right? We're gonna have this mountain pop back out as the foreground anyway. So very light as it gets down here, because as we all know, darker at the top, lighter as it gets down to the bottom. That's just how nature works. Don't ask why. Don't ask why. Very light blue down here. We've exhausted most of the paint off of the brush, and so it's just very small amount down here. And that way we don't lose all those little details. Plus we're gonna have this giant mountain come in. My cloud's only really gonna be about right there, and that way I don't wanna have too much paint on the canvas. So all I'm gonna do is just blend. I gotta come down a step. There we go. All I'm gonna do is just blend in this little bit of sky. We're gonna have this giant mountain, and who knows what's gonna take over. I want to try to save this tree just because it's so pretty, but you never know how far that mountain's going to grow, what the shape's going to look like. There we go. I've never painted on top of a ladder before. This would be good practice actually for doing a mural. Like this is what it's going to be like to do a wall mural, right? Something like that. Very cool. And just a big old giant white section for this huge area of cloud they're going to work into, right? Now we're going to come back up here. We're just going to start to crisscross from the top and just blend it down. Taking out all those little streaks. Blend it, blend it, blend it, blend it, blend it, blend it, blend it. Right? Best sound ever. Ah, man. Okay. Let's rock and roll, Josh, with this gigantic canvas. I might have to step back a little bit. Blending it over our soft area. Oh, yes. Man, that looks neat. Look, my brush is hitting my ceiling. Never, oh look at that. Never before have I been able to just set a brush up there on top and just be like, okay, gonna take a break. Whoop, hang on. There's nothing to grab onto either. You don't want to grab onto the canvas and pull it out of the frame, right? That would not be fun. So, let's not mess around, Josh. Okay, got our sky blended out. It's nice and soft as we go over this lighter area. It still stays nice and light. I mean, you don't even have to paint a cloud. And look, it's already there. It's already there. Just shape your blue, blend it out nice and soft, and poof, look what you got. Now I gotta come down here. Ooh, I'm getting altitude sickness being up that high, guys. My heck. All right. Over on YouTube, we got some serious kind of overexposure in the sky, but it's not too bad. All right, let's come in. I love that sky. What do you think of that sky, Jason? Does Jason love the blue sky? I wonder if Jason's watching on YouTube or on TikTok, or if he's watching on both. That would be cool. Okay, let's get a little bit of white. We're gonna come up and make just a gigantic sky, or a gigantic cloud. All right, I'm gonna use this big bush making brush because we're on just a hunormous, that's what I said. Hunormous amount of canvas, right? Gonna dab it in like we're gonna make a big old bit of white bush. We're gonna come up here, tap in soft little bits of clouds out there. All right, not too far, not too heavy, not too much paint, because it's gonna blend in with all the paint underneath, right? Then we're gonna take a little 1-inch brush. We're gonna come up here and just make it soft, and all we're doing is just light. We're blending down that thick paint. So soft, couple little circles. Here, there, and everywhere, right? I get questions all the time like, when I do my clouds, it all blends in and they all turn blue. Well, that's why you gotta leave that lighter area, that white colored area back there, and then you'll have some different things. Why don't we take the blue that's on that brush, just tap in a few little bits of shadow at the bottom of that cloud, taking our other 1-inch brush, and swipe it out to the side. You can blend it. What do you think it looks like, right? And I gotta take a step back just so I can see what it looks like. That's a cool little bit of cloud right there. That's a cool little bit of cloud. All right, we're gonna need so much more white paint out of the box. I severely underestimated the amount of white. Now the reason that we put that little bit of blue in there, watch this, we come back in with another pop of white. Whoop, there it went. This thing's so big my easel barely even holds it. A couple little things, a couple little pops, a couple little here, a couple little there. All right, and then we're gonna take it and blend it down. And when we blend them down, they start to mix in with the blue underneath, with the white underneath. We don't want to cover up all of our little differences, right? We want to cover up everything. Dragging some of that paint down and down and down and down. And we'll get a new dry 2-inch brush. Swipe them up. Off to the side. Just softens them down. We're not pushing with so much pressure, right? That we're moving the paint and sliding it all over the canvas. It's all about the amount of paint on the brush, the amount of pressure on the canvas, and practice, of course, right? Don't look at my gut, though. Don't look at my gut while we're doing this. All right, let's see. That's just awesome. That's the perfect amount of clouds for a big old painting like this. Just a little bit of detail in there.
Thanks. Glad to help.
Oh, you're welcome. My watch thought I was complimenting it. No, Siri. No. Okay, now we need to let's clean off some brushes while we can. So while I'm down here cleaning brushes, you guys talk amongst yourselves. Tell you where are you guys watching from? Maybe you'll have a neighbor in the same town that's watching from where you are. So where are you watching from? What's your favorite sandwich? I love that question. Everybody's got a different favorite. We get people from like Australia, and they're like, "Oh, my favorite sandwich is Vegemite," and I'm like, "Oh, that sounds yummy. That sounds so good." Have you ever smelled Vegemite? It is not a good smell. And I don't want to put that in my mouth. Because if it doesn't smell good, to me, it's probably not going to taste good. But again, there's something for everyone, right? Something for everyone. You've got carrot cake. Millions of people like carrot cake. I don't like carrot cake. It's a vegetable. It doesn't belong in a cake. I don't eat vegetable cakes, okay? All right, let's mix up some color up here on our stool. Gotta get our palette knife from way over here. All right, so I'm gonna mix up a little bit of a mountain that's gonna sit way back beyond these trees. Now, what are the 3 P's of Paint with Josh? I just showed you on my sweater. They apply to everything, whether you're painting the sky or the clouds or a mountain or the trees or a forest of trees or whatever you're painting. All depends on the amount of paint that we have on our utensil or our brush, our tool, right? The amount of pressure that we put on the canvas, and practice, of course. So let's come up here. Let's try to make Jason proud with this just ginormous bit of mountain that's back up in here. Oh yes, look at it. It's gonna grow off and just live forever, right? Way above the trees. And the reason we put these black gesso trees in is so they become fainter and fainter and fainter and farther away, right? So what we're gonna do is decide what Jason's little mountain's gonna look like back here, and then it's gonna be hidden in a base of foggy clouds at the top of these little bits of forest. Very cool. Don't have to come down too far. In any case, we don't want it to grow. So we're taking a bit of paint and we're stretching it out with the knife first in the same directions that we would be doing our bit of, how do I want my shadows in here? No, yeah, we want the shadows on this side. We'll take a little bit darker paint, we're gonna put it on this side. There we go. And that way when we pull it out with our brush, it'll remain a little bit darker on one side than it is on the other. Maybe we'll have a little ridge over here. Little shadowy area, light shadow, light shadow. Right, it's all a game of light and dark. That's all painting is. So now watch, we're gonna hit it with our brush. I gotta get down off the stool to wipe the knife, set the palette down. My goodness. All right, come back with a 1-inch brush like this, way up here, and take this guy, and with the amount of pressure, we can decide how far it goes, right? We decide with the amount of pressure. All right, so let's pull it, let's hide him behind that bit of mountain back there. Just pulling it back, and then again, we're gonna stick this guy back in front. Right, we'll pull him down, and he's got this big old ridge that lives back there. Oh, it's just awesome. Awesome. All depends on how we pull the brush, how much pressure, how much paint are we dragging down. Does this guy go this way? A little ridge. Maybe this guy came down. Maybe he cuts in front. Maybe he connects. Maybe he goes over here. Or we got this side over there. Not trying to pull in all the same directions, right? And if we cover over our tree, we can always go back and put some more in. It's no big deal. We can brighten them up a little bit. Right? Maybe this guy started to come down. There's like a little valley in between these two. like this dark side of our, or bright side of our mountain on this side, as it trails off into nothingness, right? Way off into nothing, way back here. Very cool. Again, don't worry about covering over these trees. They're meant to be covered over and soft, right? Our little valley back there. We'll have all the shadowing in there. More shadows off the back. Very cool. Excellent. Boom. Wicked. Okay. Let's come in. We're going to make up a bit of shadow color. So we need a bit of blue, a bit of white. Not too much. More blue than white, right? That white's very powerful. And then you can decide, okay, I need a little bit more white. Brighten it up just a smidge. Take a little of our dark color. Mix that in. Now we have this little kind of grayish, bluish, there it is. Bit of shadow that Josh likes. Right there, right? Now we're going to come in and scrape that guy up off the back side of these. Right, just in there. Heading it down, then we can start to shape what we want our little ridges to look like. Different things are coming down. Let's mix up a little bit more white into it, because it's a little dark. It's a little dark. That's okay, we can come back and just do it right here. A little darker than what our actual white snowy paint's going to look like, right? And as we come down, it's going to break and get softer and softer and softer as it goes down that way. And we came up in here, a few little bits of darkness. Right? This whole back side of this mountain is covered in the shadows. So it depends on where we bring down our little bit of ridge. Where do you want to see it? Right? Maybe that whole area back here is just covered in our deep dark snow. And that original dark mountain color, that purpley color that's back there, right? Feed it down. Sometimes you get a little darker area, a little lighter area. All depends, right? Maybe this guy came down this way too. Ooh, ooh, I can see it, right? Little bits of light scraping here, there, and everywhere. And then we'll decide where we want our light to come in on this other side, right? So let's wipe off the knife again. Now we have to make up a bit of snow color. I never like it to be pure white. So what I'm going to do is scrape up a good amount of white and then the teeniest little amount of that blue, and we'll mix it up over here. And that way it'll be a super bright color compared to its shadow counterpart, right? And as always, I never mix up enough, so especially if we've got a giant old mountain back here. Let's see, guys, let's see. Make our knife nice and clean. Then come in here and scrape up some of that. Maybe we'll start back on this guy. Just start wiggling him in. Sliding him down. Where does the light connect? Where does it hit? Where does it come down? So start to slide back in there. Get a little bit of light creeping over the edge. What happens in yours? That's what I always ask. What happens in your painting that makes it different to mine or different from Larry's or Sally's or Jimmy's or whoever's? You know what I mean? Everyone's going to be a little bit different. And that's the best part. This canvas bounces. So it's an adjustment to make when you're not used to such a big canvas. And then you come up and it starts bouncing like that on us. Oh, look at that. Coming over the edge. It's got to be wiggly, right? You can't have it just be the straightest thing. Maybe this side came out. There's that whole big ledge right there. Very cool looking. We're going to have to get way more paint. We need a ton more paint. There we go. You just start to build it and build it and build it. So we're going to make up a bit more of that white bluish mixture, right? It's not just pure white. Can't just go pure white. It's got to be a very, 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 very bright blue, but not purest of whites, right? Let's scrape that guy up. Watch this. Just come down, grab, deposit different areas as it's just wiggling itself down the mountain. All those little breaks and details, those are our wicked spots right there. Those are the places that people look and think, oh, I wonder how many, how long it took to paint that, and they don't know about our little knife trick. And how it just breaks all on its own, right? Just dumping it down, a little thicker in some places, a little thinner, let it roll over itself. And that way you get these little differences everywhere. Our mountain's never going to be the same thing, right? Whoop! Almost fell. It's all right, Josh is still here. And we're going to come in with our little bit of shadow paint and work it back until you like how it looks, right? Depending on the size of your ridge, or whatever. You take a little bit of your white, start sliding it down, crisscrossing back over, blending it here, there. You get a couple little details, a couple little shadows, little differences, right? That's the best part. All the little differences that you get. Man, that looks cool. All right, let's take a little bit more of our shadowy color. We're going to throw it down behind our bit of ridge over here. And then it's all going to blend into this wicked bit of foggy mess down here. It's going to be awesome. All right, we're going to take a brush, big old 2-inch brush. We're going to come in here and just start making some mist. Just by tapping on it with the end of the brush, coming up into our color, bringing that mist down, right? Tapping it down. You can almost create a whole nother foggy bit of mountain as it's extending downward, right? You decide when it looks good, when you have enough paint. Do you need a little bit more? Do you want a little bit less? You know what I mean? All that foggy mist back in there is exactly what we want. Swipe up on the back side a little bit. Right now, the more and more and more and more and more you tap and mix, the more kind of foggy little mystery you're going to create, right? What's going on back there? Who knows? Blend that same kind of mistiness back kind of behind our clouds. See if we can't bring some of that other color down. Right? Get some of that original darker color. Start to mix it up in there too. And then you're not going to be able to tell where the mountain ends, where the mist came in from. Right? It's all a little game of mystery. Just a little game of mysteriousness. There we go. These cool little details as they start to grow down, right? And then we soften them down a little bit more. Because we only really want to show the ridge in itself. And you get that little bit of mist as it's coming in. All right, what does yours look like? That all depends on the way that you do your little tappy taps, right? The tappy tappies. Very, very, very softly coming in here at the same angle. And then rotating, going around the other way, the same angle up. Very soft though. We're not trying to ruin all the little hard details that are back in there. Just trying to make it soft. Just trying to let it dry a little bit faster. All right, again, we're going to come in here. And then tap down, bringing some of that color down. And that way you won't know what's sky, what's fog, what's mist, what's here, what's there. Right? Is it all a bit of fog at the back side of this mountain? Well, that all depends on how much mist you bring down, how dark your fog is. Is it the same color? Is it the same color as that bit of sky? Is it a bit darker? Does it come and mix in? Can you not tell? Because that's what we want. We don't want you to be able to tell exactly where the bottom of the mountain is. Maybe the bottom of the mountain's way down here, hidden behind all this forest. But all this misty cloud won't allow us to see. Right? You can take some of that guy and drag him up towards the sky. All a bit of mistiness. Oh my goodness. Bit of mistiness always helps. All right, take our little bit down here. Tap in just a bit more, just so we have some mystery. Maybe we had a bit of that fog come up inside our, come above the mountaintop, like it's creeping up that little valley back in there, right? Very softly. You don't want to adjust the paint. We're not trying to move it. We're just trying to tap. There we go. A little bit of foggy mystery back here. All right, because all it is background color right here. That's all we need, is to pop more stuff off in front, and that's our background color. So it's not vital, right? You just don't want it to be white or super dark blue. Gotta have a little bit of background color, a little light color back there. All right, let's wash the brush off, see what that mountain looks like from like 10 feet back where you guys are standing. Woo! Look at that thing. My goodness. Just hit it back there behind all of those forests and oh, it's lovely. I like it. This bit's a bit bright right here, but it's okay. There we go. You can do whatever you guys want to do, right? And drag your light in this way, just to help your brain and go, oh, my light streaks are coming in a certain way. Man, that mountain looks cool. That mountain looks cool. There we go. Perfection. Oh, I love it. Oh, I just love it. Who loves it? This guy. There we go. Oh, it's that soft little touch back in there. You get those teeniest, tiniest little details. All right, let's wash off some of these brushes. So again, you guys check in. Tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite sandwich on the Paint with Josh show? The Paint with Josh show. This step stool is very helpful and also in the way tremendously. Tremendously in my way. All right, now we got our mountain back there. We didn't even lose the tip top of that tree. What'd I tell you? Told you we'd save him. He just looks foggy. Foggy old tree. Okay. Now we want to have in this painting, let's see, some trees, some jaggedy rocks, some waterfalls. We got a cabin. We got a fence. We got lots of stuff coming up. I got to take just a couple seconds to have a drink real quick. My goodness. Thank you for the roses, Unknown 77. I appreciate that. And thank you, Scarlet Creations, for pinning some comments and stuff. We're going to be able to help Jason name this painting. So start thinking of a name. What would you want to call it, right? What would you call it if you were Jason, or if you were me, or if you had painted it? What would you want to call it? And then we're going to start coming up with whatever we're going to do next, right? So, if we're going to have a cabin, maybe right there, because I love this tree. I don't want to cover him up too much. So we have a cabin about the size of my fist right here. We can have some faraway trees coming back. We can have, you know what? Let's move it down a little bit, because this rock is going to come down like this, right down to our waterfall, which is in the center. Let's put some paint on the canvas so we can tell where we're going to do some stuff, okay? So I need a little bit of blue. If I want my waterfall, if that rock comes down here and my waterfall falls off there, right, at least I know now that I have some bit of blue to work with, and that'll be a good long waterfall right there. Just gorgeous. Don't want to make it too big, but then you don't want to have, you don't want to not have paint right here either, right? And then, so say that's our waterfall, and we came up and we got our rock that came down like this. So maybe back in here, we start to work in a bit of river leading up to the waterfall that we'll be able to see. Just like that, by pulling the color off to the side, going up, right? Maybe coming back this way a little bit. And that way we can have like this little kind of babbling brook, sort of. It'll be dipping and falling and changing and all sorts of stuff as we come down to this ginormous falling waterfall. Okay, that'll be cool. Now we'll put our bit of forest back in there. A little bit of blue action. We'll put our blue on the bottom later. I don't want to take up too much time. Excellent. That falling down. Got it. Now you know what? Our cabin's going to sit right here instead, right in between these two trees. So we'll have a bit of grassiness. Yes, okay, that's going to be perfect. All right, let's wash this brush. That way I don't go to use it when it's got a ton of blue color on it. And I think it's clean, and it's not clean. All right, now at least I can see in my brain what we're going to do with this little bit of waterfall action. Now we're going to come back and make up some more of that dark color paint, which is our black and crimson and blue, that purpley color. And mix it up. And of course, we don't want it to be this dark, right? We don't want it to be as dark as the black is back there. So let's add a little bit of white to it. Just to brighten it up, get this kind of brighter, kind of farther away, purpley, soft grayish kind of forest back here. Just mix it up, smush it out, pull it down flat. That way you get all the different colors mushed out of there, right? Now we're going to come in with a big old fan brush. We're going to load up that fan brush on either side, just wiggling it down in between the bristles, smushing them in, getting it nice and thick on there. All right, pulling it out so you get this little axe blade, just like that. Now we want to come in below these bit of trees. All right, these guys are a little closer than the last guys are back there. All right, we'll have that over here. And we won't even use some of those trees off in the distance. They may get lost back here, but I wanted to have something kind of feeding that little area. right? Load up the brush. And then just come in below that bit. See, this is why we put that bit of that mist in between. And so we'd have these little things that we could do and just pop these little bits of color off here and there and everywhere, right? And that's our goal. Just to have a little bit of color, a little bit of difference in your brain. We're going to take these guys, we're going to swipe them up, just straight up. Right? See how we're coming down at this angle? Now we have two little sections, two different bits of forest. And again, we're going to take that same little color, we're going to tap it and work it down. That's all we're doing, right? Coming up, tapping on it, bringing the color down. Coming up again, tapping, bringing the color down. Bringing the color down, bringing it down. All it's doing is mixing it. It's making it softer so we can add another layer in front of it. It's creating that little bit of mist. You get all that little bit of color. Differences back in there, right? Mystery. Where is it all happening? Nobody knows where it's happening. That bit of blue. Got our river. Oh, I can even wash the brush from up here if I bend enough. If I bend over enough, I can get the brush can. Hey! There we go, guys. All right, now we've got our little bit of forest back there. We can start to work in whatever we want it to look like. Couple little swipes, making it soft. Flattens the paint down, helps us. Makes it a little bit easier. Oh yeah. Now we got our bit of river, our foresty rock. Let's take our bit of river. We'll start to light that guy up until we run out of white paint and have to go back to the paint box, which is going to be soon. Okay, so say we had our river back here, and if that's our falls, and it started coming just very small little bits, right? And then maybe we leave a space, and we come down. Getting wider and wider as we go, right? Leaving little areas, little bits, and then we're coming up to our waterfall right here, where it just eventually falls right down the thing. Look at that! That is cool, right? It's dipping down, it's falling. You can even take a bit of our, just tapping the brush right there. That's all you gotta do is just tap it. It's very far away, right? That one, I kind of like. What if we put the little waterfall right there? Just by tapping it, right? Just that little bit of white back there, to our eyes, looks like water falling down, right? You tap from a bottom, and that guy's got a little bit of splash to him. All depends on what you're going to show, where your grass comes in, where your trees are sitting, all that stuff. All depends, right? Oh, we could do it like a rock. Oh, you guys. Oh, this is going to be the best painting ever, Jason. I just saw something. This is all rock in here. As the water's trickling down. And we put like a little bit of grass in there. Little things, right? And then over here, this will be our horizon line, and then our house will sit right there, falling into all these deep, dark, oh man, it's gonna be cool. This is gonna be neat. You guys stick around if you wanna see something awesome. Stick around, because I've got it in my brain now, and now that it's there, I have to do it. We have to do it, now that it's there. It's been seen, it cannot be unseen, right? Our little bit of river, hanging around, making it a little brighter, a little darker, so you can't really tell. It's dripping down. We're gonna have stuff over here. We're gonna have stuff over there. Little bits. I love this little spot back here. Maybe we'll have a little bit of grass as we lead up to the river and the waterfall. Okay, perfect. I can see it. Oh, I can see it. And then we're gonna have this whole big bit of rock. We're gonna have our cabin over here, a bunch of grassy stuff. Oh, it's gonna be excellent. Gonna be excellent. Okay, let's get, before we get going too far, actually let's throw in a little bit of grass. Pop in our little bits of grass back here. The doggies know that Mom and Bailey are home. What the heck? That dang red paint. This is why my sweater always gets dirty down here, because the paint drips and you guys don't tell me about it. And then I get, you know, little drippy oils all down my shirt. All right, what were we doing? A little bit of grass. Okay, let's come in here. Bring this big old sucker back over here. And I'm just going to tap into the green just a little bit. All right, you decide how bright you want your green. But initially, I like having a little green and a little of that darker color, because then you can brighten it up if you want, right? So then we had a couple little taps come in, just leading up to our little bit of river back there. little bits, little different things that are happening. Very cool. Very neat. Right? Bringing it down from the base of our trees, and now we can start to tell where our trees, where the base of them are, where they're living. You know what I mean? So cool. Little things though. Don't have to have it be too bright. It could all be hidden in the shadow of all of these trees back there. And we're just sort of lining out what we want it to look like. And then maybe we get some little bits of grass that start to fall over the edge, right? We'll see. We'll see what the thing starts to look like when we get to it, right? That looks really neat. We're gonna pop our rock down in here, so it'll be very rocky. Maybe there'll be a little bit. Maybe we'll pop a single tree out in the front. We'll see what it looks like. We'll see. So tell me where you're watching from, guys. What's your favorite sandwich? I love coming back here and seeing where you guys are watching from. Wow, I love that. Thank you. Let's see. 23 people watching over on YouTube. This one's coming together nicely. Let's see. Ohio, Michigan, South Africa. Awesome. Pennsylvania for Anna K. Coming in hot at Pennsylvania. Anna K is one of my best customers. There we go. Again, just making it different. And then we're going to come down. We're going to light up the whole bit of waterfall. Oh, it's going to be cool. Okay. What I do want to see, though, is just a little touch of brightness back in here. Just a little bit. Couple little things is all you need. You don't need a whole huge amount of light areas. Right? They can't all be touching. You don't want all the lightness to touch itself. Little differences. How does your little meadow look? Right? Not a whole lot of bright. Let's bring it right. Maybe this is a little bit darker and that got hit by the light. You never know. Actually, that looks really neat. If it did get hit by the light and it was very bright compared to the other side. I like that. Maybe we had a little bit of brightness sneak down in here too. By bouncing it into this big old canvas, right? Just like that, guys. Oh, so cool. So cool. Okay. Now that we got our little bit of action going on in our crazy little world, we don't want to have too much. So we're going to have our cabin and all that sit back here. And again, now that we've got some brighter color, maybe on this side too, you start to see these guys just grow down. How far do you want your little bit of grass to start growing down into your cavern? Right? Maybe we have this bit of rock come out in front of that thing. Oh man, you could do so many things with a canvas this big. My goodness. That's the fun part about doing a giant canvas. You can do lots of giant things. I have to step up here now very softly. Just soften our grass details. Still going to have all those little things, all those little bits. They're just not going to be so perfect, right? They're a little bit further away. A little bit less detail. And that way we can have our foreground ones pop out with more textured details like that, right? A little bit more come down, why not? Just in case. Right down to the edge of that little waterfall back there, a little mini waterfall. And you never know. You never know what it's going to look like. But I like to cover some areas, and then you go back and hide those little areas, right? Very cool. All right, let's do... And then we'll probably have to get out more of almost every color. So we're going to take all the blue, the crimson, the black. We're going to make up this giant bit of darkness for our mountain over here. Even the two brown colors too. Just mix them all in. We need a big amount of paint to cover up such a large area. And just mix them up all nastily. Woo! Don't want that paint to fall and land on my sock. That would be bad. All right. Now what I'm going to do to keep this shape of this rock, just initially we're going to hit it with the fan brush, right? So come back in, decide what you want it to look like, how jaggedy you want it to be. Do you want to have a little area like hang out over the edge and dip down? What do you want it to look like? You know what I mean? All up to you. All up to you. And all we're doing is taking this dark color, right? Putting it in there. And that way it'll have some dark, thick paint on there for our highlights to grip onto, right? Our highlights don't want to grip onto the thin little bit of canvas. They want something thick and rough to grab onto, right? Which is why I'm going to bring this guy down here. Ooh, that looks neat too. What if he was just hanging over the edge? We had little things, like little scrags just growing down off of this guy. Very cool. We could put little flowers on him. We could do lots of stuff. I'm going to hide just a piece of where our river is coming out of. And then back it around that grass, because I want to show some of that grass. Bring it up. Maybe we'll pop a little bit. Oh, like a little cavern back in there. Yeah, I mean, even so, you can just cover all that grass. It's all good. Bam, just like that. All right, bring it down. Now we got our little bit of rock. And you can see I've left most of this just bare black back there, right? We're going to cover every bit of where our light color touched, right? Dragging our little bits of rock away. And then leaving this just bare black canvas, because it's going to help with those deepest, darkest of our shadows as we drag our paint over like that, right? So you guys might be able to see with the lights and everything, but to me, it's very dark. Oh, just gorgeous. What do you think, Jason? Just fantastic. A little bit of grass back there. We're going to chuck our cabin right over here. It's going to be awesome. So should we do this giant bit of mountain first? Or we chuck our little cabin back in there is the question. Let's take two and put a couple little trees up here. Just a few. Little taps here, there, everywhere. Right? Get your nice little evergreen tree way up there. And of course, he's going to need a little friend. Everybody needs a friend. Little things here, there, everywhere. Right? Changing the angle of our brush. Little differences. Little branches pop out. Get all sorts of little stuff happen. Perfect. Let's step back and see those guys. Oh, they're just cute little brothers way on top of that mountain way over there. I like it. I like it. Come in here, step up onto our step stool. Just adjust this guy, make him a little fatter. There we go. I like it. Okay, now we've got our bit down here. Our bit of rock. It's going to come out. It's going to cover over some of our water is coming through. We'll have a lot of plants and grass and all sorts of stuff coming out there. And then this guy's he's part of the mountain. He's holding up all this stuff. So again, we don't want to pull all the dark color to the edge. You got to leave a little bit of that very deep dark black on the side. That's exactly what we want. Exactly what we want. Big old crazy looking rock, jaggedy old looking thing, and then we can go back and highlight it. And it's got all this thick textury paint that we're just brushing on with the fan brush. I'm not sure if you guys can even see the brush strokes in it. You can sort of see. It's very thick and very thick on there. So we'll bring this guy out here. Who knows? We'll decide when we get down there. Have a little path or a flat piece or something. All right, we got that going. How long have we been going for? I'm gonna have to take it's only been 48 minutes. We got this thing about knocked out, at least planned out. We can go back and add in our details and stuff. Put a little bush right back here. A little flat spot. Gonna look awesome. Okay, let's do this side. We're already rocking and rolling over here. Let's do this side. What is put some close-up pine trees. Of course, Jason. There's gonna be some close-up pine trees, Jason. Of course. Now I gotta scroll back and find the list of your demands. There we go. All right, now here we go over here. All right, we're gonna have our pine trees. We're gonna have our little cabin. We're gonna have a fence coming out of it. We're gonna have all sorts of stuff. It's just sitting on the edge of this cliff. So in order to make up some very cool bit of rocky color, we're gonna take our two yellows and our lightest color of our browns, and that's gonna be our highlight color of these rocks. All right, it all depends on the amount of brown that you put in there. And it's gonna change its brightness, you know what I mean? Little differences. And that way you got all these little things in here. Different bits of dark, different bits of light. Right? Even take some of our dark brown in there, our dark kind of purpley color. And just like that, bring it down just a smidge, right? Whatever color you want, whatever color you think you like. Everybody's got their own favorite mixture for the rocks and different things, right? Now let's say if our light was to come down and hit on this guy, it might land and hit around the front. Just like this. Pulling it off. Wherever you pull it is going to be where it wants to be. Right, a little bit more yellow ochre. And light up the front up here. Pop that little guy down. Just like that. Oh, that's awesome right there. That's awesome. Okay, we're going to come in here, lighten up different things, right? Maybe we pull down in a different direction. The rock's a little bit rounder over there. Or over here, it goes off this way. Right? Rounds itself around our little cliff over there. Or starts to change. It's never going to be all the same direction, right? So don't make it the same. Don't make it too different, right? But don't make it all the same. Never all going to be the same. And it never all has to be the same color or anything like that either. Right? The littlest bit, boop, right out there on the edge of our little guy. Just a little bit of brightness. Perfection. So we're leading it back into a darker shadow. We don't want all that brightness to go all the way to the edge. Then your rock doesn't look like it has any texture or depth or detail or anything. Right? You can't have the bright go everywhere. You got to have little different spaces of light and dark. Maybe this guy came down over here at a different direction. Right? All depends on what you want yours to look like. That's what I always say. You got a real steep, sharp little bit come down in here. Right? All depends. Let's take a little deeper, darker brown with our black. And maybe there's a deeper, darker shadow back in here that just couldn't get lit as much. Right? But you still got that deep brown back there. Right? All depends. It's never all going to be lit at the same places. So, don't worry about it, man. We'll come back over here. A little flat spot. Maybe the little eagle sits out here. I don't know. What do you think in your mind, right? What's happening with your bit of mountain? That all depends. How you pull the brush, how you do it, which direction you're going. All depends on what you want it to look like and you alone. Oh, yes. Look at this just jaggedy rock. He's just Mick Jaggerty. That's this rock. Mick Jaggerty Falls. That's what we should call this one. Mick Jaggerty Falls. A little bit of brightness out here on the edge, but not covering over all those deep, dark spots, right? Not gonna cover everything. I want to even have a bush somewhere, in which case we'll have to scrape something off. So let's not go too far over that way. Maybe we'll have it just pull down over here. Then we change and we go this way. Start to wrap it around. What's it look like in your mind? You can do anything. You can do it, and I can help, right? I'm here to help you with these little tricks, little things, all these free shows. Man, who else is doing all these free shows? Nobody. Let me tell you who. God, that rock looks so wicked. Just so absolutely wicked. Oh, yes. That was the money shot right there. A little bit of that brightness. Different area, right? So it's not all the same. It doesn't just pop into brightness. It kind of flows in from that dark to the light, right? And then you can always go back over different places and blend them more away if you don't like how they look. Maybe this guy came down here. Oh, there's like a little lower spot of this rock down here, right? He came down. Oh, just sat out like this. Oh, it's gonna be cool. We gotta put some grass and stuff back there though. Before we get too far ahead, let's put some grassy, different things back in here, right? I love this though. We're gonna come down. Maybe we'll have this bit. I mean, it could literally come out at us. We could do all sorts. Like we could walk over, like Indiana Jones, that leap of faith that he has to take and walk out over the thing. That's what this rock reminds me of, anyway. Okay, let's take a little bit of our green and our yellow. Come in here. I'm just gonna tap it into the green. A little bit more yellow. Tap it in down here. Just brighten it up a bit. And like I said, on this side, look at all these cool little bits of grass and different little things that are going to start to come out of this waterfall and grow their way down. But first, this is the most fun part of the whole thing. So who's ready to see the water actually fall off of this thing? Who is gonna see, who wants to see the water actually fall like it's moving? I can actually find my paint. Oh yeah, here we go. Gotta load up on the white. White is the color I go through the most because you use it for everything. You use it to brighten up the rocks, you use it for the mountains, you use it for the water, you use it for the sky, you use it for everything, the clouds, everything. So we go through white the most often. All right, who's ready to see the water just fall off of that thing? I just can't wait to see it in action. And that's part of the problem. I start watching the water fall, and then you want to do it more because it starts to look like a video in your mind, and you're like, ooh, if I just pull down a little bit more, then we'll get a little bit more fall, right? Okay, let's come in here. Just overloaded it with white is all we need to do, right? Now we're going to come over to the side, pull it down. Over to the side, pull it down. Now we're going to flip the brush over because look at how blue it got just from the touching the canvas. We're going to come over here, pulling it down. It all depends on your amount of pressure and practice to how you want to make the water look and flow and fall and what gets lit up and what gets bright and what gets dark. All up to you, just based on your pressure, your angles, pulling it down. Woo! That's cool. Just ending up in this deep, dark area down here. Very neat, right? Now let's take this guy. We're going to pull it off the side. You can get a little bit more of that white in there. And we got to pull him back, right? We're going to take it like the water is, we're sliding it backwards. We're forcing this guy. He's coming up to the edge and falling over. Right? That's what's happening in this little waterfall anyway. And whatever we don't like, we cover over, right? That's a cool one. Man. You can go back and cover over whatever you don't want to see. And then you can also see the difference right here between the blue, where we put our blue undercolor, and where there's black and there's no undercolor. You can see how bright the white is compared to the blue mix. And so we'll go over and fix that. That's why you gotta have that blue or some sort of undercolor underneath the black. Right? And that way when you go over it, you can mix with something. Very cool. Just awesome. Just stand back here in front of your guys' way. Very neat. What do you guys think? Just paint sounds. You guys don't want to hear my gorgeous voice. That's annoying. That's hurtful to me, but it's okay. Okay, now that we got our water in, we can come back to our little grassy brush and decide where we want our bit of thing to fall from, how far they fall down. Totally up to you. What gets lit? How much do you see? Totally up to you, right? And again, we don't want to have too much paint because we need to do a bit of a rock in there. So we're going to scrape it up and go back to our dark rocky color, same color that we did right here. We're going to go up over the waterfall, pop out in front of it a little bit, and then you got a piece of rock that's actually holding something back. All right, if it's up and above our water, a little bit of texture out there, and then you decide how much of the rock you want to show, how much of the plant life is going to cover over it, this, that, and the other, what color it's going to be, maybe on this side since this is our bright side, and a little bit of our brighter color over here, just down like that, leaving that darker color behind it, and you get that very deep dark shadow. Maybe blending a little bit of it over into the shadows, the smallest bit. There we go. Oh, that's cool. That is cool. All right. Now, since we have all this area, this is what we really want. This is what we want. A couple little bits of our bushy flowers that sit in between the rocks and then fall down over the sides. All right, you have to have that dark shadowy mix to help it fall down and grip on for our highlights, right? You can't have it to where our highlights are kind of just on the bare canvas. Again, it just doesn't work like that. So I'm going to take some of that stuff, dragging it down. Oh, so cool. This one's going to look neat. We'll pop another little bush in over here, right? I got to make up some more paint. But that's the idea anyway. Now we'll have our cabin, put a couple big pine trees right out here in the front of the cabin. Oh, it's going to be so cool. It's going to be so cool. Some close-up pine tree details. That's going to look neat. Just to catch your guys' eye, though, why don't we take and just put a little bit of just a little pop of color in there. All right, some yellow ochre, some of our cad yellow, little pops, and you can start to see these little flowers come alive. We'll flip the brush over on the other side. A couple little bits of red in there. As they start to grow down, oh man, those are fantastic. Come back over here to that yellow and red, yellow and yellow. And we got a few little more. And they start to grow down and grip onto those little bits of our thick texture that we had laid down there, right? Very neat, very neat. You have a little bit more of the reds. They lit up down here. So cool. Oh, I want to go live there. Oh my, I just want to be there. I can hear the water crashing. That constant soft roar. Oh, it would be so cool. So cool. All right, let's take a little bit of that same yellow ochre, yellowy mixture and pop them in between these guys as they just started to come down. Oh yeah, right? The plants out there, they never give each other a lot of space to grow. They're always very tight. So you have to sneak in some bits of yellow amongst the bits of red because they're all fighting for that space. And they all want to be out there, and they all want to be the super brightest part of the painting or of the nature. Look at that. Oh, got to leave the darkness, all right? Yellow to dark, yellow to dark, yellow to dark, all the way down. All right. Okay, let's put our cabin in over here. We've been going for, what, an hour? We've been going for an hour, and we're about 60% of the way done, I would imagine. Let's go. Let's put these guys up here. We'll give them some green. We gotta give them some greenery. Right, and all they are is a little bit of background color. You know, it's not our foreground trees, so we're not going to really see these guys too much. We're not going to be focused on them anyway. Everyone's going to be looking right here. When they look at this painting, this is where they're going to look, right there. So all this other stuff is just to help their eyes, right? It's going to help their eyeballs. A little bit of green, a little bit of shadow, way up top, right? Because they're not our focal point. They're very far away. It could be a little bit brighter, I guess. It could be a little brighter. But like I said, a little shadow in there. And then let's take a little bit of our yellow ochre, mix it in with our cad yellow, mix it in with our sap green. A little bit brighter color, go into our liquid white to help really brighten it up and help it come off the brush easier. Come up here, little taps. Right? It's not the focal point of the tree, of the painting. So we don't need all sorts of color or anything up there. A few little things, little taps. Little bits of darkness, little bits of light. That's all we need. And that is just about enough. Because all you gotta have is a little bit of it shining. Not every piece has to be the same. The same amount of brightness. Okay, we got that. Let's put our cabin in. Let's work on a fence. Put our cabin in. We need to get out some more colors. Should we take a break now? And then I can get some colors out and do some different things? Or should we just keep smashing through, guys? Because we gotta take a break eventually. We gotta take a break. Oh, this is a brand new tub of crimson. Sent to me by Melanie, my biggest fan from Tennessee, or so she says. If you're my biggest fan from Tennessee, then you're just going to have to send something from the wish list and say I'm your biggest fan from Tennessee. see. Get a little more crimson out because we're going to need to put more of that dark mixture, right? We're going to need to make more rock color. We're going to need to make more bush shadowy color, right? All that dark mixture, the crimson, the black, and the blue is what we're going to need to go with. We'll also need probably some more brown for our cabin. Some Van Dyke brown, some of the dark sienna. I think we're good on the red. We're going to need more yellow for sure. And then I'm going to get out the fancy, like the gold and the purples and the very bright blues. And we'll pop in some more on these little bushes over here and over here. It'll be very cool. I just wanted to snag your guys' attention with that, just to see how gorgeous it's going to be. Now let's go with, I think we had Prussian blue to start. So let's put the Prussian blue back onto the palette. And then I won't have to list both colors. I can just list the one color. All right, get some more of the midnight black out. Okay, where's the black? Did I use the last of it? Nope, there it is. There we go. This one's from Better Butternut off the wish list. Thank you, Better Butternut. Love you. Love you. Love you, love you, love you. Okay, here we go. A little bit of our black. And then we'll go into our dark sienna and our yellow ochre and our cadmium yellow. Get out more of those colors, and then we'll go take a break. Let's see. So, cad yellow, brand new tube. Brand new tube. Oh, it's got green on it. How did it get green on it? I don't want green on my yellow. Tell me where you guys are watching from while I'm busy just messing about halfway through this painting. Power through. Hey, you guys don't know what it's like. Beautiful so far. Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. I love the little river, how it just kind of fades off into nothing back there. You get all that little, Idaho, Georgia, Michigan. Jason says take a break. Jason's the buyer, so I got to listen to Jason. South Africa, Sweden. Thank you guys. California coast, Pennsylvania, Illinois. You guys are rocking it. Oklahoma, Laredo, Texas. From Ireland, West Virginia, Canada, Florida, Hamburg. Man, you guys are just rocking it. So much depth in this painting. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. How do you buy one? Okay, that's a good question. Oh, that's an excellent question. So this one, normally when I paint live, I have, the painting is for sale, right? But in this instance, it's a commission piece for Jeremy that we scheduled to do today because it's so dang big. But normally, you can go to paintwithjosh.etsy.com, right? So, whoa, geez, almost fell. Same thing on my shirt, paintwithjosh.etsy.com, and it'll pull up my store with all of my paintings. I just did one last night that's available for sale because nobody bought this one during the stream, this little guy. So this one's available in there. It's like a psychedelic seascape with a big old giant moon. Crazy little painting. And it's only about, I don't know, it's less than 300, I think. You can get that one for. I don't know the exact price, but yeah, go to paintwithjosh.etsy.com and Starlit Creations can tell you the website too. Be awesome. Okay, let's just get in here just to make sure I got enough depth here, right? I love this patch of grass. I almost want to put something here, but then I'll lose that patch of grass back there, and I love that. So let's not lose that patch of grass. I love even this little hidden patch of grass in between the bush and the rock itself. That's really wicked. We'll put a little bit of mist at the bottom back here so we can't really tell where the base of the trees is, right? Just a little mist, a little bit of light. And as you can see, if you try to do this with acrylic, you would be just in agony city because your paint would already be dry, right? In my case, with these oils, they stay wet. The sky's still wet. That mountain's still very wet way up here. You know what I mean? Everything is wet for a long time. And so, oh yeah, a little bit of mistiness. Can't really tell where the base of those trees are now. What's happening? A little fog coming out of them. That looks wicked. That looks wicked. And the more and more we mix it, the more and more. Oh, somebody's over there favoriting stuff in the old Etsy shop. The more we mix it, the more it's gonna look like that foggy bit back there. Very cool. And then, like I said, you can always go back in, tap in your little bits of grass wherever you want them. Just have them show wherever you want them to show. I love it. It's like it's not just a flat bit of land back there. You get all these little things, all this stuff happening, all this tumultuousness. But we're not in the water, so it doesn't make any sense to use tumultuous. But all these little variations of height and depth to it, I love it. Get my yellow paint back out. That's why it has green on it, because when I put it down, I touch the green paint pile. And our yellow ochre. And then we'll go take a quick break. Take a quick break. It'll give me a chance to just take a breath for a second. And then I got my cabin right here, little fence, maybe a little walkway down to the old cabin's, the fisherman's favorite little spot right here. Our mountain man. It's his favorite little spot to catch fish, right on the edge there. Or something. Who knows? We'll put something. A little pathway down to the water for whatever reason. You make up the reason in your own mind, right? Oh shoot. That's okay. These brand new tubes, if you don't mix them, sometimes they're very oily and very wet. Which is going to work perfectly because we need it for our highlights, so we need it to be a little bit wet and oily to come off. Hi, London.
Hello.
How you doing?
Josh should power through and not take a break.
No, it's a long, long painting, guys. It's only going to be a 5-minute break. 5 minutes. I'm going to leave the camera running up here. I'm going to leave the camera running, so this is what you'll see. I'm just going to go smoke a cigarette real quick, grab a new drink, and then I'll be back within moments. So we're not turning the cameras off. I just want you guys to know that. I'm going to leave the cameras running, all right? And that way we don't have to start a whole new stream. You don't have to come find me again. We'll leave the cameras on. Snack break. Let's see. No smoking. No smoking, says Brian. Okay, all right, guys. The camera's looking good. We got power. We're all set on that. We're going to disconnect the charger from that one, plug it into this one, so we don't lose connection. Are they sold as a pair? Are you talking about the one down underneath? The one down underneath is available for sale as well. This is a little seascape. This one's in the shops, probably like 185-ish, something like that. It was painting number 635, and we're on painting number 713 right now. So I have tons and tons of them. I've got painting 500 from when this was, I painted on my birthday last year. So on my birthday, that was the birthday painting, which is painting 500, and this is when I first started numbering paintings, was number 500. Because it took me hours and hours and hours to count them all up and number them all. And so after number 500, everything has a number. Before it doesn't. We did this one the other day. This gorgeous little thing. This is still available in the shop. It's a 4-color painting, so it only took 4 colors to create this scene. Painting number 668. And it's called Horseshoe Pass. You can look it up in my Etsy store. You can search for an 18 by 24. You can search for the name. I only have maybe 6 or 7 18 by 24, so it'll be easy to find this one. For sure. But yeah, we've got tons of stuff. Tons of stuff still available. Got a cute little desert scene like this. Little mountain mesas and colorful bushes. Got a little wintry scene with a cabin, an old scraggly tree. All sorts of stuff, guys. Go check out my Etsy store. And I'm going to be right back in about 5 minutes. And then we'll get back to doing it all. So let's clean up everything so that by the time we come back, then we'll be straight back into the painting and I won't have to mess around cleaning up anything, right? That over there, that over there. All right, we only got 4 brushes to clean. That's good. Considering I use 14 fan brushes on my table over here. I don't use them all in every episode, but I have 14 fan brushes over on my table. The fact that we only need to clean up 4 brushes is a good thing. Excellent. Excellent. Hey. So, guys, you guys have been awesome so far. And like I said, it's just going to be maybe 5-10 minutes. So go check your noties and grab a drink, get some popcorn, come back for something cool. Right? That's what's going to be fun. Go check out the Etsy store while I'm downstairs. And then, nope, that's not how it went. There we go. No, that was how it went. I'm an idiot. Yeah, so while we're gone, go check out the Etsy store. And I'm not gone. I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere. The cameras are staying on and everything. Check out the Etsy store, and then we'll be right back. I told you this was going to be like a 2 to 3 hour video. It's only been 1 hour and 15. So I've been blasting through so we wouldn't need a break until now. Got a new order? What new order? Oh, Nicole, you just bought number 500? That's awesome. You're amazing. That one has a cool birthday video too on YouTube. It comes with a video of me painting that one, which is really fun. Really fun. So thank you for buying number 500. You're awesome. I appreciate you. Number 500 appreciate you. I've got stuff everywhere. Oh, that's money right there. Bingo bango. Couple little different bits, right? Gotta have our differences. Different areas here, there, and everywhere. So nice. So nice. Okay, very cool. All right, now we're going to take a break. See, I get going, and then I get going, and then I get going. So, Jason, what do you think? Send me a message over on Facebook, like we've been chit-chatting. Let me know what you think about it. Go. Bang, boom. Where are we at? Over here. Absolutely love it, he says. Well, that's good, because I absolutely love it as well. I'm going to buy it back off you. You can't have it anymore. It's mine. I'm keeping it. I'm just playing. Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes, guys. We're going to keep the cameras on. Everything's going to be rocking and rolling. And then we're going to get out the cool paints, the Magicfly paints, like the gold and the blue and all those cool different colors. I don't think we're going to need the step stool anymore, so that's been fun. Thanks, step stool, for your cooperation. We don't need you anymore. I appreciate it. Excellent little step stool, by the way. Excellent. Okay, let's do this over here. Guys, I have so many more big canvases planned out too. I've got a 36 by 36, a 24 by 36, a 24 by 24, a 24 by 30. All big fat canvases. Ooh, they're gonna be fun. Lots of stuff. That's funny. That's funny. Is that what you told people how much you paid, Jason? Was that much money for it? That would be hilarious. Okay. That's eventually where it's gonna be, I hope. One day in the future, right? Okay, I'm gonna come back. I'll be back in just a few. So maybe for 125. Siri, go away. Just because I look at you doesn't mean I want to talk to you. Holy crap. I just got another order. What is that? Cosmic Lighthouse. Just purchased this one, so that one's off the table for today. You can't get it anymore. You can't get that, and you can't get this one, because Nicole bought that one, so... Which should we display next? The desert scene or the little Christmassy... Look, it's got little Christmas balls hanging from it. Just two little Christmas balls. They forgot to... The guy couldn't reach this one, and the old lady forgot to grab that one. It's a super cute little painting, but it's not really Christmas time anymore, so let's put the... that one's a little bit cheaper because it's a Christmas painting. It's kind of seasonal. We'll put that one down there. We'll see what happens. Okay, before I rub any more paint in my eye... Trying to figure these things out. There we go. People are always like, what do your hands look like? They look soggy and wet after I take the gloves off. So, wipe them on my jeans, right? Okay, I'm going to take the iPad down. And just in case we get any more sales, you guys are just wicked awesome. And I love you all to death. There we go. Okay, we're going to take that down and we'll be back up in like 5 minutes. Got a refill on the drink. Gonna have a quick cigarette, and then we'll be back. So nobody go anywhere. I'll be right here. All right. Oh God, I almost dropped my drink. Good Lord. Okay, let's do this. What a stream. What a stream. What a stream. Oh, shoot, let's keep that open there. Go back to our thing here and look at my double chin. It's always my favorite part. My favorite part. So you guys get to see my double chin. Okay, let's go like this. Bam, I can see it. We need some new gloves. And we're going to be rocking and rolling. So much space in the studio when the cameras are so far back. I wonder what it's going to be like in the new studio, right? When we move house. We've looked at this beautiful house. Oh, it's a fantastic little house. And super interested in it and plan on applying for it for on Monday. It'll be fantastic. Tomorrow. Tomorrow is Monday, Josh. Oh, there we go. Ow. Okay. This is why we do this off screen, right? There we go. Got that. Let's throw our cabin in, and then we'll be ready to go. Where's my paints? Here's the paints. Got new paints. Nice and clean. We never got the other brown out, though. So this is why I try to do everything before. That's the yellows. That's more white. That's more yellow. That's more white. That's blue. That's blue. Ah, there it is. Okay. A little bit of brown, just in case. I say a little bit of brown. I put a gigantic pile of brown on there. Okay, guys. Woo! Everybody share to your friends. Tell them Josh is back. We're back. We're live. We never left live, but we're here. What the heck? Just got another sale. Just got another sale. What's going on? Oh, John Krasniak. You're the man. John Krasniak bought this blue one. Well, say goodbye to this one. You guys can't have it anymore. It's on its way to Pennsylvania. If I remember right, that's where John lives. In Pennsylvania. Now, the only two that I have left that I brought home, this one might not even be in the store. The tornado one, it might not even be in the store. It's a very old painting. I never even signed the back of it. That's how old it is, right? And of course I'll sign it like I sign all the rest of them if somebody purchases it, but I'm not sure if the volcano's in there, the tornado is in there, or if this little, like winter, faraway little canyon has this waterfall on it, big giant mountain, soft little bit of foreground like we're standing on it out here. I know this one's in there, and that's number 625. So, fantastic little painting. But that's the only two that I have left here at home. I can't even show anymore. I'll have to look. I think this one, I think it's available. If not, it's way late on shipping. But I think that this one's still here, right? This one's called, what was it? I didn't even sign it. It's called like Mystic Sunrise or something. It's on my YouTube. It's like a 28-minute painting. I did the whole video in 28 minutes. It turned out fantastic. So I think that's in the shop. If it's not, then I'll have to go update the shop later and see what we actually have still left in there, right? So we got that. We got the little Christmassy one in case anybody wants that one still. And that's about it that we have from home anyway. Okay, let's get back to this thing. Here we go. Where we got people watching from, guys? Where are we watching from? What's our favorite sandwiches? We got 500 people watching on TikTok. I haven't even been up here. The one you did last night is beautiful. Thank you. That was this one. This was the one we did last night, I believe. Still super wet. This one got bought during the live stream. It's going to Michigan, I think. It's hard to remember where they all go nowadays. Man, okay, here we go. Let's do this. We're going to make up a little bit. I don't need my step stool anymore. We're going to make up a little bit of our dark color again, that little shadowy color. Gotta mix it up. Just gotta have it as our dark base. Now, we don't have any paint back here on this except for the original paint that little bit of white that we put down there. And I left it like that for a reason, so we could build our giant little cabin over here. All right, what if we came up like this and just started coming down? We'll bring his little roof pitch down, and all of a sudden, we got this cool little cabin starting to come together, growing its way like it just lives out here, stares at this cool little waterfall all day. Very neat. Very neat little cabin. Right, just like that. I'm going to be a little bit longer on one side than he is on the other side. Just in my mind, that's how I like to do them. Go up a little bit higher with his roof. A little pitch over here. Now we're going to have our back. I'm going to fill it back that way. Just a couple little shapes, right? A couple rectangles here. A couple little bits over there. A little triangle at the top. And you got yourself a cool little cabin way off in the distance, right? I'm going to scrape off all of that dark paint. So I don't want it to mix too much with all of our light colored paint, right? That would be just too much paint. Now we have our shape and our wicked little roof. We can line up our lines, bring it down, just overhang over the roof the smallest bit. Just like that. That's looking cool, guys. That's looking mighty neat. Mighty neat. Now we're going to take the back, his little roof, go on a downward angle. Back that way. Fill it all in back here. And then we'll have this wicked little house. Wicked little house that we can play with, right? And then we decide what we want the perspective to look like based off of our highlights and shadows and different directional poles and stuff like that. Looks very cool. And we're going to put a big tree over here on the side, cover up some of our cabin. So we don't even have to paint the whole thing, and that's the best part about painting with Josh. You never have to paint the whole thing about whatever we're doing, right? You don't have to paint the whole waterfall. You don't have to paint the whole river, just a couple little swipes. You don't have to paint the whole rock because we didn't even paint the side over here, right? Didn't even paint the whole base down here. It's all just mistiness. And that's what it's about. What can we not paint and still have it look like paint? Now we're going to come in here and take a little bit. Look at that yellow just dripping all over the place again. Just dripping everywhere. Let's see where you guys are watching from because I asked and I didn't come back here and look. Little green patch. That's where you're watching from? A little green patch? I like that. Little green patch. I love this. Thank you. Appreciate it. This one's sold and it's a commission, so it's not. This one's not available, unfortunately. But we do have. Oh, you're watching from Vegas. That's cool. I'm in Vegas. I think that was Embrace the Sky or something. I'm in Vegas, and that's neat. We have a lot of Las Vegas fans. We have fans everywhere else. And Las Vegas fans are going to be like the last ones to show up. Okay, let's take a bit of our brown color, and let's add a little yellow oak over here, just to this one side, because our one side is going to be in the sun, and the other side is going to be in the shade. So we need to make the other side a little bit darker. A little bit more of our brown, right? And that way we'll have a light side and a dark side right there. Dark side of the force. Okay, and our dark side we need more of because it's way over here in our, on the shadowy side of our little building. And it's very much like that, pulling it straight down, mushing it on so you get these little differences, and then we can go back in and make little wood planks and do all sorts of stuff, right? Come back over here. One side down, and just like that, we got the back side of our, well, the front side, the shadowy side of our cabin. Gotta go down just like wood, just like that. Very cool little stripes and different little things, right? Now we're gonna take that brighter color. We're gonna come over on this side because maybe this side is getting hit by the sunlight. And then you got a side to your cabin, you got a little brighter side, a darker side, and you just mix it up until you like, right? And we don't even have to paint the whole building, just like that. Got a little 3D little building like that, right? Come down here and fix the pitch of our roof. There we go. Right, get that little shadowy bit underneath. Oh yeah. Smallest little things. Change that pitch. There we go. Old little cabin out there, right? Maybe he's got a little door. Pop his door in on this side. Just by scraping it away. We pop a little door in like that. And then all we're doing is going back and filling it in with that dark color. Because maybe nobody's home. Somebody forgot to do all the stuff they needed to do out here. And maybe no one's home. It's gonna be so cool. Okay, now we're gonna take our 1-inch brush and we're gonna make this guy pull them out a little bit. And then we can decide how much shadow we're bringing down, what the angle of the cabin is over here. And on this side, we're going to go a little bit higher up, pulling it out that way. And all of a sudden, you've created a little 3D building just out of nothing, right? Very cool. I'd like to live there. Let's take our small knife. Take our smaller knife and come in, scrape in an old window for the guy, because he's got to have somewhere to go look at this waterfall, I would imagine. I want to see the backside of his view way back there. Get to look at that mountain all day. That's going to be the biz. Okay, right here, I'm going to scrape any little bit amount of paint off. And that way, we're going to cut that backside of the house off with a little bit of tree, and we don't have too much paint hanging out, right? Not too much. Oh, that's cool. I like that. I like it. I know Jason likes it. There we go. Now let's take a little bit just to kind of line in where our little bit of door would be, our shabby old door, right? Just take a little bit of the white. We're not trying to add snow to it, right? We're just trying to add like a bit of light, just to highlight the smallest little bit of it. Just a bit of it. A little piece of light came down, something hit back in there. Just like that, just to outline it the smallest amount is all we need. A little bit there, a little bit there. Boom, that's it. Now what we need to do is go back and fill our grass in. So we'll take that grass, we'll come up in here. Maybe the grass on this side of his house got a little bit brighter because out here it's in the sun, right? All depends on the angle, right? If I went straight down like this, he would look like he's living on this giant hill, right? So we come out. Now over here it's going to start work. We've dropped all the light paint off of the canvas over here, and now whatever's left is going to start working in with the darker color that's on this side that we pulled out, right? We changed our angle, so it looks like it's coming down this way now. Right, maybe it comes down this way and it falls over the edge. Never know. Comes down one more time this way, falls over the edge, almost straight down, and now we're going to go the other way. You know what I mean? You can have like a little point to wherever it's sitting, or whatever. You do whatever you want. You know what I mean? You can have it come down further. You could bring your grass all the way down here and have like a little trail going up. Do whatever you want. Very cool. Okay. Now let's take a bit of our dark color that we need to mix up again. So a bit of our blue and black this time. No crimson to it. Blue and black, so it's the darkest mix it can possibly be, besides just the straight up black, right? Blue and black. Get this really deep, dark, shadowy color. And we're going to put it down in here. Go in here, going to grab up our big old fan brush, load it up full of paint. Just loading it, get that whole pile, and we'll probably need to go back and make more. Whole pile up here. I want to save that tree behind him, so we're going to put one right there. Just drop it straight down. He lives right by the side of this old cabin, right? We're going to come up and just very lightly start dropping in little teeny tiny details, little branches, right? With just the corner of the brush so far. And then the more that we come down, the more bits that we can push. And the more you push, the bigger your tree will become, right? And it'll start to block out all the light back there. All the little differences, and then we come back and then we light it up with our highlights and really show you what the tree looks like, right? This is just a deep, dark, shadowy base. This is all that shadowy texture that's back in there that's hiding all the stuff behind. As our tree fills out, covers over some of our cabin, because you got to hide that space. And by having it above the cabin and bringing it below the level of the cabin, then your tree sits down in front or beside or behind, depending on how far you take it back, right? Totally up to you. Totally up to you. All right, now we had to have a little fence off in the distance of this guy, right? So I'm gonna take a little of our dark color. Maybe just way back there, connect it to the house. That's too much. Too much paint. There we go. Slide it out that way. Slide it out. Scrape it up. Come back in. Blend it out. See that? Now you got this far off little thing back there. It's going to continue to grow. Maybe he's got one that lives way back there, right? That we can't even see. And it's just got little legs. Little legs way off here. Right, gotta make sure we get some paint on the knife and it comes off. He's got like a far away fence, and then maybe he'll have a closer up fence. Right? Way off in the distance back there. Now with all my little fence post lines and little different things. Right. So soft. Oh my goodness, so soft. Can't touch anything lighter than I've ever touched this. So softly. There we go. Tap it in. All right, little bits of details back there. Very cool. Brighten up our grass in that area. So neat. Like he's got something way off in the back. You can't even really tell what it is back there, right? That's what I want it to be. Because I plan on putting another little tree in here. So let's mix up some more of the black and blue. Just the black and blue. That helps it stand out away from any other dark purple or anything else. Come back to our little fan brush. Tapping it in. Well, getting it all up in here. All right, I'm going to come over here and right in the dead center of this thing. I'm not going to bring him down so far though, right? And keep him back there further away. And come tap in. Just little taps, right? Get some of that thick texture off. And then we'll come in here at the top, little taps. Start to create our little branches. This canvas bounces so much because it's so dang big. There we go. All right, covering up some of that area of that little fancy bit back there. So we don't know what it is. If it's a bit of rock wall or what. Does he go back there and sit? Is that where he takes his time away and goes back there and sits and looks at the mountain? Are we looking at the back door of his house or the front door of his house? Does he go out the back? What's going on? Where would you want it to be? Because I would want the, I think this would be the front of my house so I could look at the little cabin area, and then we'd walk back around behind this tree off to our truck and drive down the mountain, right? That would be my thing. So a couple little bits here and there. Oh man, I mean, it's just the coolest thing. Like all of his grass is just overgrown. He's not been a good homeowner. He's let all of his stuff just kind of go to shabbiness. Right? We take this bit of our tree, work it back a little ways, taking our shadow, pulling it back that way. All right, just like that. A little bit darker in front of the tree. Got a little bit of light come down. Right? You can work our bit of grass in here until you think it looks correct. Right? When you think it looks correct, that's when you're done. Just like that. That's a cool looking tree. Almost missing a little bit in here. There we go. Close to the house. Kind of separates that back wall back there. Have a lot more flowers. All sorts of stuff happening. And then you can always go back in and brighten it, do different things. All depends. Now let's get a little of our highlight paint and we'll knock these trees out of the way. Let's come in here. A little of our deep sap green. Maybe a touch of our phthalo green, just to change it up a bit, right? Come onto the backside of these guys and just dump in a little bit of our kind of green branchy bits, because the other ones are going to be very bright. Now maybe this guy, the bottom, can be all green because it's all hidden behind that cabin, right? It's not going to show all the brightness of all the branches and the leaves and stuff. But up here on the top, yeah, definitely going to light it up right there, right? Oh yes, just like that. Oh, it's fantastic. Fantastic. Right in there where we're missing one. Perfection. Okay, now let's go back in here. We're going to load up some more of that green. Same color. Green, the phthalo green, just a little bit. And do this big guy over here. Right? Just start popping out little bits of greenery over that bit of dark purpley. Right? You just need a couple little hints. A bit of green, not an entire chunk. Don't want to cover up the whole bit of tree, right? Just a fair amount, just a little touch. That green, oh, So lovely. That's all you need, guys. Then you come back with your highlight. Brighten it all up, right? And this guy, though, might need just a bit more. And his backside. Oh yeah, that's perfection. That is just literal perfection. Alright, now we're going to come in with a lighter color. So we need to get our yellow. Drag our yellow down into the green. Brighten it up a little bit. And then remember, don't make it too bright because we have to make it brighter with our liquid white. That's what's going to help it transition off the brush and onto the tree, right? We're going to come like that. A little bit, nothing too crazy. Don't want to have a whole huge amount. We're going to tap the tip of the tree so he gets a couple little bits up here. And now this stuff comes off the brush so much easier than the other bits, right? Maybe we got a little shine just down in there. A couple little bits down in here. Just shining up, right? A couple little light areas go over the edge, but not every bit of light goes to all the way to the edge of the tree, right? One more little piece. Oh, right there. Perfect. That's all we need. All we need. Little bits of brightness. Standing out against that dark color, right? Now we're going to come over here again, tap the tip top of the tree so you get that little bit of green up there, and then just start coming in, bouncing in a bit of our brighter color off of our brush, just tapping it in, working our way down, tappy, tappy, tappy. Sometimes we go over to the shadowy side just a little bit, right? More of our light color is down here on this guy because we're getting more sun down here. Man, that's a cool one. I like this one, you guys. So pretty. Don't want to make it all the same green though, right? If you make it all the same bit of bright green, then you lose all your depth. If you cover over all the bits of dark shadow, you lose all your depth, right? You don't want to lose all your depth. Gotta leave a place for Peapod, the pocket squirrel, to live, right? Peapod, the pocket squirrel's pocket Peapod squirrel wife is going to be mad at you if they don't have a place to go hide when the predators come around. You got to leave that area dark. Little dark areas down around the bottom, right? Don't have to highlight every single piece of every single thing. That's not how it works. It doesn't work like that. A couple more bits of that in between brighter green. There we go. Sometimes it's all about one or two little dabs. Can make or break a painting. Okay, what do we got next? We're going to put a little fence right out here, right in front of his house, right? So let's take right in front of this tree, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. Maybe it fell down. Drop down a bit there. Came over here. Who knows? Scraggly old little fence, right? Little fence, little leg out there, little leg over here. Oh, looks good to me. Looks good to me. I'm going to tap in at the base of these little legs, just so we don't have. We've got to have a bit of like shadowy or the same kind of grassy texture as our. Look at how much this canvas bounces, because it's so dang big. So dang big. Right? Well, maybe off this side, we had one that just went down. Maybe he tries to keep the cows from coming around the edge of the thing over here, right? So we got our little pole right out there. Got a piece that fell down in between. Poor guy. Go up and above our thing, the smallest little bit. Now into the tree is going to be tough for you, because you got all that liquidy paint, all the other stuff. So, very small amounts, very small pressure. When we come in, we're just going to touch and light up just half of the little, half of the pole, right? You don't have to light up the whole pole, just half. A couple little bits is all you need. Maybe light up the top, just the top half of it. Little bits here and there, a little bit of detail, a little bit of brown, just helps create that bit of wood. Right? How bright do you want it? That's totally up to you. Totally up to you. Get my little piece to stick above the tip of the fence. Excellent. Perfection. That's cool. That is cool. All right, we decide how far away the fence is based on the length of its little poles, right? So if you want it to be further away, swipe them up a little bit higher. You want it to lead down to your water, change the angle, change the base. You got the control. You tell it what to do, not me. I'm not the one over here telling her what to do. Let a light come down on this side, right? We got our shadowy grass back there behind our house. Got our light over here on this side. And we just tap it until it works its way in. The more you leave it like that, the more like flowery it looks. And the more you tap at it, the more grassy it becomes. And work our little angles down. Little differences, little light areas and dark areas. Maybe a bit of the light hit over the top, push a little bit harder. Just like that. Man, that's cool. And with our darker green, get a bit of our black in here, our dark mixture anyway, not black, but actual darker mixture. Oh, there's the shadow of the house, guys. Oh, it's so cool. Oh, I love it. Oh, it's so neat. Okay, that's excellent. I like that. We are finished with this section. A couple little flowery bits, a little bit of yellow. A little bit of something growing right at the end. A darker shadow underneath him. Right? Here we go. That's what I wanted to see. Now this guy, I'm just going to tap him out. Bringing our grass back up to our cabin, right? All with our little taps and whatever it looks like to us. Very cool. Now, with all that done tapping, I think I lost my bit of dark line back in here that separates the grass from the water and like raises it up a little bit. See that? Oh, it just raises it up the smallest little bit. And now we want to have a little pathway. Coming from this door, and it came out here, just right down to the water's edge. Right down there, we can go down. You can have a drink. You can chill out and relax. A little bit of darkness, and then we'll come back and highlight that up with a bit of brown. Just by swiping over it very lightly, right? You get all those little bits and little different areas. And then of course, it's very textured. It's very thick. It gets wider as it comes down to the base of our river, right? Or waterfall. River, waterfall. It's a mix of both. There we go. Just a little difference in there, right? It's all you need. A little bit of darkness. Bring back our real dark lip right back in here. There we go. Very cool. Very cool if you ask me, guys. Again, we're going to come and we're going to pop in our grass just sort of right on the edge and then pull it back. You know what I mean? That helps soften it. You get these little things that happen. That just make it look more real, right? Soft little thing. Very cool. I like this guy's house. He's got a wicked house. He's got a wicked little house. Man, what's been happening in the old Etsy store since I've been gone? John Krasniak, Cosmic Lighthouse, Nicole, all have made purchases today. You guys are awesome. This canvas is humongous. All right, now we're going to come back in with some more flowery bits. So let's chuck another rock right here. All right, we have to have that dark mix. Grab our blue and our black together. Dark old mix, and then we'll come up. Remember, we got to push some of our. Let's put some water in there first. A bit of white. What if we just scrape in a little bit of some waves, some sort of something coming down, and everything's getting crazy as it gets closer to this waterfall, right? So you gotta have more little details, more little textury waves, more little things, little action. Action, baby. There we go. Not trying to cover it all, not trying to make it all look the same, Just got to have that little bit of action in there. And now we're going to come back with our other knife that's got the dark color on it. Go above that bit, above our thing, above our grass, into our waterfall, smallest bit, and then pull it down, right? Where does yours live? That's the question. You want it to come all the way down here and highlight all that bit of rock, right down there, like it's just been, this water's just been carving its way out of this rock for millennia. I mean, you can make it go all the way down if you wanted to. You can do lots of stuff. You can make it grow this way. This whole thing could be rock just like that over there. Or you can have flowers and grassy bits that are growing down it and all sorts of stuff. Oh, here we go. What's my hair look like today? It's not bad. Not bad. It's gonna have paint in it now, but it's not bad. Okay. Gotta wear the merch. Get your Paint with Josh hats, guys. Go to paintwithjosh.etsy.com. You can buy paintings, shirts, hats, pillows, all sorts of stuff. All sorts. All right, now we're going to switch back to our other knife, go back to our browner color over here, and really light up this edge of this guy. Different little things are going to show, right? We're going to have a bunch of flowers growing down, so it doesn't all have to look the same. And just because my own brain, I need to separate that bit of the two browns, right? If you make your rock a little bit darker and it separates it, it's almost like when an artist draws that black line to split stuff up. You know what I mean? Oh, the black line around the rocks or whatever, just to split it up away from the white paint or the white paper. We're doing the same thing by just adding that little bit of darkness down in there. And it splits up the two different colors. You can have it do whatever you want. This whole bit of rock could grow out. It could do all sorts of stuff. Anything you want it to do, it can do. It likes to go crazy. Very light amount of pressure though. So soft. The same angles that we did them downwards. So you gotta turn your brush, you gotta follow it along. Very cool. Again, we can just tap this stuff in down here. Make it into our little misty area, right? All this little bit of water and all this stuff. It's all gonna blend away as it works in with whatever color is down there, right? And then we can have it grow back. That'll be a little bit mistier as it's falling down there. Get all these little different textures in the water. Very cool. Maybe that came and popped its way out over that bit of rock. Oh, look at this. Just make that rock look transparent, like it's in the mist of that water. Maybe the water's coming out around it and it's doing something. Woo! 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 Whatever it's doing, it looks rad. That's what it looks like. Rad. Little things. Little bits. Little bits of bright, little bits of dark with it, so it's not so bright down there, right? Just get a couple little bits of bright area. It's getting darker and darker as it goes further and further down. Can't see much. Very cool. Okay, let's put some undercolor down underneath here before we lose too much room. So we save that whole big pile of blue because we're going to have this giant blue pool at the base. Take this guy like this, just all down here, wherever you want it to be. And again, it's going to get all muffed up inside here as you get all that mist. So don't worry about where it comes down and hits. Don't worry if you get a couple little streaks sideways because you flicked it with your brush. Don't worry, we're going to go back and fix it all. We got you. A little bit of that blue up in here around the edge of those rocks. Just in case we get any little mist that climbs up. You don't want it to be so super bright. You got to have that blue in there. And then over here, we don't really need to worry about adding any undercolor. And same on this side, we're not going to be blending any white, right? All the stuff that we need undercolor for is when we hit it with our white paint. And over here, all we're going to be doing is dabbing down flowers and different things. It's only streaking back and forth where we need the undercolor. Otherwise, you end up having too much paint on your canvas. When you have too much paint, then it becomes hard to paint. What do you think of that fence, Jason? Send me a message. I love being able to talk to the buyer via message, like in the middle of painting the painting. That's really cool. Can I do another pine tree next to the one I just did? Where, over here? Over here? Or did you ask that before I did another pine tree? Really add them in right now. Let's see. Come down. Oh, that's going to be grass and stuff. It's going to be really cool. Let's do one more little baby pine tree. All right, if you want one more, let's go in here. Our black and blue. And we'll put them next to this guy. Like covering over our house right here. Just like that. Tapping up at him. Covering over all the other bits. Leaving some of the bright area of our cabin though, right? Gotta have some side of it. There we go. Little baby tree. Kind of getting eaten up by this bigger tree. There we go. Now we'll go highlight him with a bit of green and a bit of brighter green. Right. We got our darker green. We got to put a little bit of our highlight paint on the back side. Our shadow, our low lights, right? That darker greenery down here. For all of our light to bounce off of and play off of. Just to keep our brains happy, right? A little bit of our liquid white, a little bit of our yellow. Into that same kind of greenery we had going on down here, right? And then we're going to come over, pop it on, and then just little things. Remember, we're not trying to cover all of the light. Don't want to cover all of the shadows. Don't want to cover all of the light. And yeah, and that's it. I mean, over here. Oh, Jason. Oh, Jason, Jason, Jason. Let's see. Couple little things, couple little guys. Don't want to cover up all the stuff. Don't want to cover up all the stuff. Okay, let's see. Come in here. Okay, if we do that, we're going to lose that bit of fence. So that's what we're going to do. That's what he wants. That's what we're going to do. Come down here. Okay. Jason! Jason, what are you doing? Keep it, or do you want me to add a tree, or do you want me to keep it like that? I can add a tree. We're just going to lose that bit of fence. Or I can keep it like that. But tell me now, and then don't change your mind, because once it goes on the canvas, it doesn't come off. Once it's there, it is there forever. It will be there forever. There's no removing it. So I'm going to wait a few seconds, watching down here for the message. Keep it the way it is. Okay, got it like that. Why don't we come in then and we'll do, I don't need all the paint on this brush. All right, we're going to come over here. Trying to get all the paint off of this guy. Got that, I got this, I got that over there, and this over here, and I think it's clean. Clean enough anyway. All right, now we're going to work on these bushes. I got to have a big bush. Big old giant bush right here. It's going to help push these trees back. It's going to help push the house and the cabin and everything. Right? And this is where we lay out all of our bits of flowery bushes and little different areas. There we go. Popping it in, mixing it up, getting it all kinds of crazy nasty up in here. There we go. You guys should see my wiping place for my paper towel over here. It's just filled with gorgeous colors. All right, we're going to dab in all that thick paint on the end of our giant Bob Ross. This is the bush making brush, the round brush, foliage brush, the big one, right? Not the small one, the big one. We're going to come in, pop over our path a little bit because you got to hide some of that stuff back there, right? We can see a little bit of the path, not all of it. Come down in here, and we'll leave different little things. Maybe I'll leave a little bit of shadow behind the tree, but we'll come in and pop in with a different bush. On this side, coming up over the trees, and then down. So you leave a little bit. These bushes push those trees back just by covering over them. They sit in front. We leave a little bit of the grass patch back in between. Different colors of grass. This one's lighter, this one's darker over here. Very cool. And then it all depends on what it looks like when we come down and highlight it all up. Now on this side, we said we're going to go a couple more little bushes. Pop them out. They're going to drag down, hang down off the side. All this paint. It'll come up here too. Just all these things. Trying to hang down to our bit of water down there. What's it going to look like? What kind of colors are we going to go with? What amount of texture do we have in here? Right, what is the meaning of all of this? Remember, you got to have those little dark bits as they come down. That darkness helps our flowers blend in and stuff. Oh man, this thing is so textury. You're going to be able to feel it, Jason. You'll probably be able to feel it from New York all the way right now. You'll be able to feel it. It's already in New York. The texture is so far in this painting. It's already in New York. That's how far it is. Oh, that's going to look cool, guys. Man, that's going to look neat. All right, let's get all the dark color off of that big old foliage brush because we're going to use a smaller one to highlight it. I like using a bigger brush to make the shadows and a smaller brush to make the highlights. Jason says, love it, Josh. Couldn't be happier. Well, good. I love it too. It's so pretty. It is so pretty. Just everything about it. The mountains, the cabin, it's an awesome shape. You know what I mean? Everything about it I like. And as I say that, as I live and breathe, I need to change my cabin angle. That's the angle. There we go. Gotta have our point up at a higher place. Right over there. Bring our roof down. Excellent. Now we're going to come back and we're going to chuck our bit of woodwork back in here, right? There we go. Much better. The perspective is better on it. Now we're going to add a little, he's got a little two-story cabin now. So with his two-story cabin, he's got to have just a teeny little lookout post, right, from the loft. Up in the loft. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Cute little loft. Cute little loft window. I love him. Excellent. There's so many details in this wood, you guys. Jason, you are going to love this wood. There's so many little details and little boards and little things. Oh, it's cool. It is cool. It is cool. There we go. Excellent. Right on. It's shabby old cabin. Okay, here we go. Let's get out the cool colors like the gold and the blue. Let's clean up a bit of this mess that we're going to have here. I have enough green underneath there. Maybe I can pop in the smallest little bit because you don't need a whole lot of just soft little bits of green back in between all these colors. You want to have a few little bits of green that are standing out, right? At least I do. A couple little things as it's all growing down the mountain towards the water. Little differences. That's all we need. Okay, then we're going to clean up an area. We're going to wash off every brush that we don't have to possibly use. Whoop! We're going to fall over. I almost ran out of brush cleaner. Odorless mineral spirits. What the heck? What? No way. There we go. Alright, what do you guys think of this one so far? Just wicked awesome. We're up to 132,000 taps. What, over 2 hours for this stream? Oh, that's not bad though. Here we go. We're going to come in here. Said we were going to clean up an area. Clean up an area where we can work in. Which means I need to get all this extra paint out of the way. Everything we've already used, don't want to use anymore. Woo, that's a lot. There we go. That's a lot. Yeah, we'll just call it done and be like, all right, Jason, these are all in the shadow. I guess that's it. This is all shadowy too. You can't see anything. Never. I could never leave it like that. Never, ever. So while I'm wiping off this monstrosity of a palette, you guys tell me where you're watching from. And I'll come back here and check out some comments real quick. What do we got? Jason's laughing. They're all dark, Jason. It's all in the shadows. Very deep and dark in this canyon. You can't see anything. Ohio, England, Oregon, Oklahoma, Long Island, New York, Texas, Chattanooga, West Virginia, New Jersey, Ohio, Atlanta, Washington State. Let's see, Dallas. Thank you, Anna Kay. West Virginia, Georgia, Germany, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Malaysia, Montana, Iceland, Iowa. Let's see, Utah, that's my home state, Denmark, East Tennessee, Florida, Pennsylvania. Man, you guys are everywhere. You guys are literally everywhere. Everywhere. Okay. I got fans everywhere, man. Someone's in Long Island, New York, man. Then we got Malaysia, man. We're everywhere. All over the place. I got fans everywhere. Okay. Let's get that gold. Let's get a little bit of our gold out. Ooh, not too much. You don't need too much. It's very expensive, this gold paint. Blue, orange. And if we can get any amount of our lavender back out of the tube, we'll have some little purpley colors. I won't have any more lavender after this one, though, I don't think. Get our sky blue to come out. Excellent. We got this gorgeous orange-yellow color, which we're going to put on the palette. Right there. Just a fair amount of it. Put that stuff away. Get our blue over here. Oh, I got no more sky blue now. Well, maybe just the teensiest bit for maybe a small painting. And the lavender. This is going to be the last of the lavender, though. Where's the lavender going to go? Let's put her over here. Oh, maybe I guess I got the smallest amount of lavender left for like a 16 by 20 or something. Something small. I need to get some more of those Magicfly paints. That's what I need to do. Okay, now the cool thing about these Magicfly paints is even though they look the same, they'll still stick to your palette. They're very wet in comparison to these very dry paints, right? These are very firm. These are very much like acrylic. Like when you start to dab into them, they're very, look, I take this whole pile and just pick it up. Like it's very, very thin paints. So the point is you don't need the liquid white when you're using these Magicfly paints. You don't have to go into your liquid white. You can literally take it, you can dab it in, and it starts getting very flat on the palette very quickly, right? Maybe come over here, we had a couple little bits of this, just the brightest little bit of blue flowers you ever saw, just trying to grow down. A couple little things, filling in our dark spaces. Not every dark space needs to be filled, but you gotta have a little bit back there, right? What if we took our darker blue on the other side of the brush, mixed it with a bit of white, just a couple little things, right? Little bits. A little bit here, a little bit there. Kind of wraps around. Get our blue. There we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, babe. Alright, let's take a little bit more of that blue since it's on the brush. And come over here. You just decide, where do you want to put it? A little bit of blue there. Maybe a little bit snuck out over on the edge. Just a couple little ones, right? Doesn't have to be everywhere. Maybe we had a couple little blue flowers just in between. Just to trick your eyeballs, right? A couple little bits. Now we got all these other colors we can play with too. I want to just, that blue looks so gorgeous. I just want to put it everywhere. Just do a whole blueberry waterfall, we'll call it, right? So remember guys, we're getting close to the end. This is getting close to the end. So tell me, what do you think we're going to name this painting? Jason has an idea, a predetermined idea, but would like to know what you guys would call it. And maybe he might choose your name and end up giving you a shout out in
I mean, I don't know how many people are watching, but I'll put this on my YouTube page. It's already on my YouTube channel, so potentially millions of people will be able to hear your screen name. So come up with the best name you can come up with. And let's come over and decide, maybe I want a little bit of my yellow ochre and my red, because that's such a pretty mix. And we have both of these guys up here. And we just tap off a little bit of them as they start growing down, get these cool little things happening, right? Maybe a bit of this super bright orange next to it. Couple little things growing out here on the edge of our waterfall. Right? We don't want to let the colors that are very close touch. So the red and the orange, I'm keeping this little dark separator in between, and that way it won't confuse your eye to think it's the same color or the same bush or the same bit of anything. All right, now let's go in. Maybe we had a bit of that yellow ochre color up here just to pop our eye away from that bit of green. And he fell down, and he was going down the edge. All depends on what you want it to look like. So cool. Oh, I love it. It's very neat. All right, we're going to come back to our red, really pick up some red, and maybe down in here, this bright old little bush. It just started to live and just drop its little flowers all the way down. Right? Not trying to fill all the darkness, not trying to cover every single piece of every single bit. Maybe this guy had a bit of that yellow ochre just right on top of him. Just a couple super flowers right there. Just right up in your face. Little super flower. There we go. All right, right next to the blue, they stand out. Almost makes the blue look like a shadow. All the color off of there. Now we're going to come into our gorgeous little bit of purplies and different things, and our gold, of course. Gotta have our gold. You know what? Let's put our gold on this guy. I just feel gold emanating from that. So let's put our lilac over here, our little purple lavender bits. And we'll come up, and let's say, who knows? They're just everywhere. They start to grow down. All over the edge, man. All over the edge. A couple little ones over there, a little bit brighter, a little bit over here. God, that's gorgeous. If that's not just the most gorgeous thing, I'm going to put a little bit more of the blue since we got that blue bush that was trying to grow in between there. But look at all the deep darkness back in here. You don't want to lose all that. You don't want to cover every single piece of that. That's all of our fantastic shadow and depth and mystery. What's happening back down here? It's so dark you can't even see. Man, that's just one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. Okay, let's come into this gold. See how this is what I'm talking about, how it's wetter than the other paints are? It's already slid. The pile has already slid down just because of how wet these paints are. So, come in here with our gold. Oh, that gold is so nice. Right over the green, maybe he came down, he was growing. He was really wanting to grow all the way down there, right? And back, we got one more little section. Leaving some dark areas in between them though, so you have that depth. Gotta have that depth. Right? Some areas maybe a little bit brighter. And you grew down. All depends. How would your flowers connect to themselves? That's up to you. Right? The last little bit of our gold. And take it down here. So softly. Very cool. I like that. That is precious. That is precious. Now, we don't have a lot of bright yellow over here, so let's take our cad yellow, come in on the edge of this little bush. Maybe we start dropping him down, and he starts growing down towards the bottom. Maybe he's got another little bush guy down here, sits on a piece of rock. Maybe it comes out that way and grows down. You never know. All sorts of little things can happen. Right? And if so, maybe he had a little bit of darkness underneath him to create this little bit of brown, a bit of rock. We can even wrap the rock around the front of these trees. There's this little bit of bush right here, right? And then just by going back over the top of it, all of a sudden, it's like that bit of rock was always there, just waiting for us to grow over and around it, right? Just waiting. All depends. What do you want yours to look like? What do you see when you're doing yours? That's what I always say. Because you're going to see something that's going to look really cool compared to what I'm doing. Got a little bit of orange up in there, just a little. Our orange is going to try to highlight and counteract our gold over here. Right in there, right into that dark spot. Yeah, a little bit more, grow down. All different though, right? Just gorgeous. Oh, oh, you guys. Oh, you guys. That's awesome. All right, a little bit of our, switching back to our red and the yellow ochre. We'll come down here. Just let it grow wherever it wants. Try not to have too much space in between, right? It's got to grow, but they've got to sort of be connected to each other on the way down towards the water. Very cool. Very cool. Let's see. All right, so again, come up with the names, guys. We're about to be done. We only got one more little flowery bit we can add in over here. Do a little bit of our lavendery flowers as they pop out. So growing down over here. Right, and then I love this deep dark space back there. Like you want to put something over it to make it look like this side, but no, that's where the goblin lives. Whoever lives back in this little mountainous area. This is Jason's doghouse back here. When his girlfriend gets mad, she sends him to the doghouse. And it's way back in there, right? And so just depending on how we highlight these rocks, different things, right now all of a sudden, you've got this little place, Jason, where you have to go when honey is mad at you. I'm gonna put a little bit of darkness, just like that, right? There's a little cave back in there. Like, Jason, you've been bad. You know where you need to go. It's like that for every man, guys. Boom, scrape it in. You got this little thing back there. Lots of little flowers hanging over the edge. Especially we bring down some more. Take a little bit of purpley. Just dangle it off the side, right? Now we know that there's a hole back there. That means there's some rocks and some sort of something that's created that hole, right? Something for a thing to live in. Like that. Maybe it fell off and went down that way. Who knows? That's a long old little lavendery bush though, I'll tell you that. Let's put some blue in here too. Put some blue out. I mean, at least you got a pretty place to go when you're in trouble. At least it's pretty. You know what I mean? A little bit of blue over the top of those. Oh, so neat. So cool. A little bit of bright purple right there. Separating it all, right? Oh man. That's just awesome. That's just literally awesome sauce. Awesome sauceum. A little bit more blue areas over here. And Jason, what do you think, my guy? What do you think about this one? That's so stinking cool right here. Maybe we chuck just a little, I'm gonna put like a little bit of a bush right here, just to block the entrance of his little cave. Right. A bit of orange. Rows down, saving some of the bits of rock, some of those little things, right? That's where you gotta go. I don't know how you get out of there or how you get to it, but that's where you gotta go whenever you get in trouble. At least it's a gorgeous place though, right? And every man knows wives are always right? Happy wife, happy life. And sometimes they get mad and, you know, you want to be in a different place and they want you to be in a different place. So, go find your little space. And at least this one out here is nice and pretty. So cool. Take the smallest little bit more of our yellow, just the littlest bit. Teeniest, tiniest little details as we go down there. So neat. Guys, God, I just want to keep doing rocks forever, or, you know, bushes forever. Little things. Maybe that's his, oh, this is your secret escape. It's like your tunnel. It's your secret escape room. You come down there. Very cool. Very hidden. Very neat. Very neat. Okay, no more flowers. That looks gorgeous, Josh. That is worth the price Jason paid, if you ask me. Now we're going to take our last little thing, right? We can't have the water just falling back there into nothing. It kind of looks cool, but it looks like we came back and we hit right there. So we're going to go back and forth. Our little thing. Little angle, not covering every bit, right? Don't have to connect every piece of this light blue to anything about it. Now we're going to take our 1-inch brush and just make it soft. Make it soft, stretch it. Stretch it, let it blend in with that blue color. Let the white blend in with the blue, right? That's why we have that blue undercolor back in there. So the white can blend in with it, not just be white on top of a black canvas, because that's going to be very bright, don't you think? Very cool. Excellent. Just taking the smallest amount of light color that's on the brush and just trying to spread it. You know what I mean? You decide what you want it to look like. So what does yours look like? How much light color do you have? How much of that deep darkness did you save also? Right? How to save that deep dark. Now down here, very lightly, I'm going to start creating a little bit of mist, because if so much water is falling from right here, it's going to be creating a lot of mist in this dark area. And you can see I'm not trying to touch my flowers, and I'm not trying to touch the water itself or put too much paint on the canvas. Right? And just like that, I'm going to start to create this little bit of fog back in here. We're going to take our 1-inch brush and just make a cloud. Soft as we were making a cloud back there is all you got to do. Little cloud making action. And we're blending it and blending it. Thought the canvas was like about to fall out and come at me. I'd be like, ah! Gotta catch it. Yeah, so softly blending it like a little cloud. Very soft. Taking some of that thing from above. Now, that's the back side of our mist, right? We need to make a front section of our mist as well. So a little bit lower, a little bit more around the side, right? And then you get a little bit of a bowl that the water is falling into. Now these mists are going to want to become the same color, right? We can't let them do that. The more you mix it, the more it's going to want to become the same. So you have to leave a bit of brightness out in front, a little bit of that darker mist in the back, and make sure there's a bright area where you can definitely tell that there's a bit of darkness in the back and a bit of brightness in the front. Not trying to cover every single thing. Very cool. Getting it to fall down like that. So neat. Very neat. Got people over in the Etsy store. Now, this underneath here, take a little bit of your just straight up blue, right? And decide where do you want to have your little bits of shadows at the base of your mist, right? Almost like a little smiley face. Different levels, different everywhere. Pull them out to the side. Try not to get rid of that hard blue line that you just created. That's our little bit of shadow, right? Just back there. Now we're going to take our little bit of white on our brush, scrub in some waves. Where do you want to see your waves come? There's got to be some sort of movement in this water. It can't just be so super flat back there, right? Little bits, scraping here, scraping there, little things, little waves. And we make them a little bit softer. Not a whole lot softer, just a little bit softer. And those little differences and details right there are what's going to make the painting better than your friends, better than, you know, whoever else you're trying to emulate or be better than. And these little soft, little watery little details, right? Scrape them in, come back, make them ever so soft. So soft. Come back over again. Scrape up a little bit more. Maybe we had some more action working its way this way. Or we had some come over here and be connected to that guy. It's not about doing it perfectly, right? I'm not trying to do it perfectly. I'm trying to do it randomly with a little bit of guidance. A little bit of random guidance, right? Is all we're trying to do over there. Just like that. So it looks like it's rippling and roaring, and no, you got all these little differences, these light areas, these dark areas, these fantastic areas. All right. Okay. And you can do lots of stuff. I did one the other day where we had the rocks continue along down in the front, and there was a lot more rock texture down in here. That's not necessarily what Jason wants. He wanted a waterfall with the mountain and the blue sky and the clouds and the fence and the trees and the cabin and everything. And we delivered, Jason, did we not deliver? All these deliverables that we had, and we delivered on every single one. All right. Perfection, if you ask me. Might take a little while to dry, but as soon as it's dry, I'll get it in a box and we'll get it shipped out. Sent over to New York, man alive. Jason, I'm gonna do the signature select shipping for you, okay? I don't want this big package sitting out on your doorstep for someone to just walk by and yank, right? Like I'm gonna have, if you're not at home to sign it, you're gonna have to go to the post office because something this valuable, I'm not just gonna let it sit out there for the porch pirates, right? So signature select, and like I said before in the beginning, it's probably gonna cost me $350 to ship it to you, just for the dimensions of the box. And that's how they get you, right? Okay, let's do this. A little of our liner brush that Frankie gave us that I just love using to make the family with. And we're gonna put the old signature out here. And if you've never seen a Paint with Josh painting before, I have a signature that's 3 birds flying through the sky, and I need to get my step stool back out to reach the sky. 3 birds along with my signature, and that makes up every Paint with Josh painting. There we go. So let's get up here, get our maul stick out, and put the old, I mean, we could have the family flying right through there like they're coming in. Oh yeah, that's gonna look awesome. Okay, take them right here, just a little bit. Little flicks, right? I didn't make the shape of these birds. I just kind of liken them to myself, London, and our daughter Bailey, and they look fantastic. They go through every scene. They fly. It's the only way we get to travel together, and those look really cool. Like they're coming in through this little mountain pass, doing a low flyover on the cabin. Awesome. All right, so let's see. Water at the bottom of the falls. Yes, this is so beautiful. God, I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Jason. I love it too. I'm serious. I'm going to have to buy it back from you. Buy it back from you at half the cost. Okay, let's do our signature. We're going to put it down over here. And then, again, last chance to come up with a name, guys. You might be able to sway Jason and see if he'll choose your name, give you a cool shout out, and it'll be really neat. So let's come down. There's more brightness over here, I guess. Come down over here. So what do you want to name this painting, Jason? Choose from the people's suggestions. As we throw the old Josh Hancock on there. All right, let's see. Let's go back and read some. We'll read out a few suggestions of some names back here. Serenity, Tranquility Falls again. Serenity Rising. Peaceful Falls. Country Paradise, Waterfall. Let's see, Rainbow Falls, Floral Falls. The best one yet, I appreciate it. Misty Meadows, Jason's Haven. I like Jason's Haven. Streams of Peace, Abandoned Paradise. I like that too. Off the Grid. That's a cool name. Off the Grid. Cozy Falls. Man. All right. Well, Jason, have any of those names swayed you? I have to get my step stool again. Dang it. Have any of those names swayed you into changing the name of your painting? And if so, who is the person that swayed you? Oh, this is like literally the max level that my easel will even go up. And this painting is so textured and so heavy. Okay. Woo, Nelly, I'm gonna fall. Where's my thing? There we go. Right on the ledge. On the ledge, Josh. There we go. So, Jason has said, Off the Grid. He chose Off the Grid. That's a cool title. Off the Grid. It was going to be Heaven on Earth was his title, which was a gorgeous title. Heaven on Earth. Beautiful, right? But who said Off the Grid? Because you have changed, you have swayed him. So, do I have to scroll up and see, or can somebody scroll up and see for me? There's so many dang comments. Hang on. Oh, there we go. JP0031. JP0031. That is who just named the painting. That's cool. Excellent choice. Awesome title. Let's put the old signature in. And this was lucky number 713. Awesome. Off the Grid. What a cool title. What a cool title. What a cool shout out for that person, too.
Let's see, we're gonna go over here. Off the grid. Of course, you guys can go over and rewatch this entire stream in its entirety over on youtube.com/paintwithjosh, right? I'm going to take a picture of this photo, we're going to put it on Instagram, and we're going to put it on Facebook. Facebook is my next biggest audience, you guys. I've got 164,000 followers over on Facebook. Insane, right? And that's facebook.com/paintwithjosh, right? And then we're going to go over, both of the people watching on TikTok or YouTube or Facebook, everyone's going to go over to TikTok and follow me, and Instagram. Those are the same name, which is @paintwithjoshk. Right? Just put a little K on the end. Like that, right? And of course, if you want to get your own painting or you want to support the store or buy any merch or get a hat or a pillow or something, you can go to paintwithjosh.etsy.com. Every purchase goes towards helping me buy more giant canvases and bring you guys more free videos, and each purchase helps me do this for a living, right? This is what I want to do. I don't want to do anything else. So, you guys are making it happen. I love you. Who's ready to see this painting? Say, spin it! You gotta spin it around, Josh. And while I'm up at the very top, I have to put a little bit of blue that the easel covers right here. And that way it's fully covered, fully painted. Just the time and care and energy we've taken for this one. Are you guys ready to see it? I can't even check to see if we've said spin it or don't spin it. Are we ready? Anybody? Okay, let's spin it. Where's London at? I need you to make that noise. Oh, God. Okay. Right up here. This thing is so humongous, you guys. These got to be some funny screenshots of my weird body angle like this. Okay. Woo! Stay there. Don't move. And come back, get my brush. Gotta make it perfect for Jason, for any commission, for any painting. We try to make it the best version possible on every single square inch of the canvas. So we're gonna blend it out on the sides. Make sure all the blue is nice. We got blue down here, we got blue everywhere. You know what happens when you take that little bit of extra time and energy? You get buyers that come back. People appreciate that, right? So I just want to rush through, knock it out, and then just not even care about the result. No, not paint with Josh. I will sit and stew over this thing until I feel that it is completely finished, like it is right now. Okay. And you can tell by this nearly 3-hour stream. I told you it was going to be 2 to 3 hours. I said 2 to 3 hours. All right, we got all clean brushes. I can't believe it. You know what? Maybe I should save those, but they're going to be in the way no matter what we do. I've got more orange. We can get some more blue later. There's other blue colors. Scrape up all this gorgeousness. Clean up the old palette. I really want to thank Jason. He trusted me enough and paid a gigantic amount of money in order to, for me anyway, it's more than I've ever got paid for a painting. I'm not a professional, guys. I'm just I still think of myself anyway as just a guy who learned how to paint and teaches other people how to paint. And apparently hundreds of thousands of people like the way that I do it. And I've had more sales and more revenue in the last month than I had all of 2022. All of it. All within the last month. I've already doubled my year. Last year I doubled it in this month already. Just from you guys and the amount of love and all the just fantastic people. All the people that want to buy my paintings. All the people that fight over the paintings and have to get them before anybody else. And it's incredible that I go live and the painting sells almost every single show. Like, almost every show it's selling.
which either means I need to stop going live, right, and get a few paintings into the inventory of the store, or you got to be fast and you got to get it. If you want it, you got to get it. So, Jason, I very much appreciate you, sir, for giving me the opportunity to do this big painting for you. And I know you're going to come back for some more big paintings, and some smaller paintings, and some other paintings. And I'm going to have to go see. He sent me a message and said, I want to send you a tip on Venmo. And I was like, oh, Jason, you don't have to send me anything. Like, you're good. We've already got everything taken care of. He's like, I want to send you something. I said, all right, well, I'm going to go see what that is. And then, yeah. Whew! It's been a long one today, guys. My goodness. All right, so I'm going to go take a picture of this painting, and then we'll put it on Facebook and maybe Instagram. Maybe not Instagram today, maybe later, but we'll put it on Facebook today, definitely. So go over to Facebook, check it out. Oh, God, I love it. Oh, yeah. Yes. All right, guys. I just sent Jason a message and said, what do you think? So we'll wait for his response, and then we'll call her done and good. Oh, yeah. That little bit, baby. A little extra. Little extra. All right, we got the signature, we got the signature, we got the signature, we got the cabin, we got the fence, we got the trees, we got the flowers, we got the mountain, we got the blue sky, we got everything we needed. He said, it's absolutely amazing. I'm in love. You're the best. Thank you. Well, Jason, I just so happen to be becoming single soon. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You're in love with the painting. I got you. I got you, Jason. I got you. All right, guys. Well, it's been a blast. It's been almost 3 hours, and we've had a lot of fun and a lot of wild hair and a lot of everything else. So I can't wait to do another one. If you want another big, say if you want a big commission painting like this, send me a message either through Etsy or Facebook or Instagram. TikTok, I don't really see a lot of the messages. I get so many TikTok messages, and they're all like just little hand wavy things, and so I never see all those. So Etsy or Facebook or Instagram, send me a message. I'd love to do a big painting for you. And besides that, I might come back later on tonight. You never know. We might do another one, not a big one like this, but another small painting anyway. And that one will be available for sale if we come back. So the best place to follow me is my Etsy store, right? You can go to Etsy, you favorite my store, and then anytime that I upload a new item to Etsy, it notifies you. It goes, hey, Paint with Josh has new items in his store, right? And what that means is Paint with Josh is about half hour away from going live. So if there's a new item in the store that says 7/14 on it, then that means it's going to be coming up soon. And that's a lot of times people will buy it before I even start the show. So follow me over on Etsy, and it's paintwithjosh.etsy.com. See, we got people over there favoriting the shop right now. And then anytime I upload a new painting or I create a new shirt or whatever, then it notifies all the people that have favorited my shop, hey, Paint with Josh has new items in his store. Paint with Josh has new items in his store. Paint with Josh has new items in his store. Come check them out. And it just might be that next TikTok painting that you want to buy. So until we see you guys again next time, I'm going to go take a nap. I think I'm going to go back to bed, actually. It's been forever on this big canvas. Oh, there we go. It finally cracked. Jason loves it. I love it. You guys love it. And thanks for hanging out with me for so long today. Remember, all the people on TikTok, you can go over to YouTube and rewatch the stream. It'll take a few minutes to process, and then it'll be live on my page for anybody to watch. So go check it out. And this one's going to take a while to dry, but I'm going to take it downstairs. We're going to hang it up, and no one's going to touch it until it's fully dry. And then we'll box it up into some gigantic box and hope the mailman takes it away, right? Okay, well, I love you guys. We've got another somebody favorite in my shop over there. So, like I said, I love you. I can't wait to come back. Maybe we'll be back later on tonight. If not, definitely tomorrow. And my dark days are usually like Wednesday and Friday on TikTok. So, any other day of the week, Josh might pop up at any time, right? So, until I see you guys next time, take care. Have the rest of a good day. And get out of here with my little teeny tiny guns.